What is up, YouTube?
Yeah.
My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the famliest of Fridays.
You know it. And our Fan Fridays now are becoming basically, 2024 preview streams. So buckle up. We got some good info and how we're going to beat this Saints team and what to watch for. So get ready, guys. As well as some injury information and updates.
That's right.
But hey, much love to Skeptical Fan. The man staying skeptical with the AI over here. Us just basically cleating the Saints into the turf. Hopefully that's what happens for the Aints. We'll see what happens. CD's going to be featured here tonight, along with others. You'll see what we're talking about here, guys, as we get on with this Week 2 preview. But before we go there, I think you already said hit the like, subscribe, the bell.
Hit the bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily, of course. Hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
We got to shout out the people that are running the show right now. And we got two names running two different parts of the board here. The sponsor of the week right there with a back-to-back representation like our 90s Cowboys, Jet Li 44, not just the sponsor of the week, but the membership gifting champion. Big shout out to him. One of the best ways to help the channel, we'll explain, but he's actually the leader right now when it comes to the gifting board. I'm sorry, there is no leader right now. I'm sorry, but he is the man. He's won it 12 out of 14 weeks. He's been the gifting king. So big shout outs to Jason Renfro, aka Jet Li 44. We actually have three names. I forgot because Cap 52 was holding down the stream boss, but Mark Hosepian came and said, "I got that."
A big mahalo to Mark.
Yeah, 99 points on the stream boss, who, by the way, he is currently in first place right now as our leader on the overall board, which, again, if he's a weekly winner, you get a little bonus here, chance to win a jersey, so that's up for grabs for anyone out there. Big shout out to Mark Hosepian, not just the stream boss, but the current leader. And then there's the man, Cab 52, who's the king of the Cash App. Much love to Cab, who took it down last week with 52. And, right now we have no leader in the Cash App or in the gifting board. So those are the two boards that are still currently open with today and Sunday's stream to go. Game day live stream. Wait up a minute. We got a Navy Blue gifted membership here from the man staying skeptical. And yes, big shout out to that great thumbnail. Every week we're going to try to feature a Skeptical Fan's thumbnail on here. Big shout out to Skeptical Fan with the gifted membership. Who got that, baby?
Congrats to Juan Carlos.
Yeah.
The lucky MCF family member here. Thank you so much, Skeptical Fan. And by the way, drop them if you got them, guys. Again, the emojis are updated every week based on our opponent and all that. And, of course, you kind of shouted out a few different things here as far as, super chat and gifted memberships.
Yeah, super chat, gifted membership. Jumping in the membership, by the way. Big, huge shout out to Temi Soltis, who's in the Navy Blue crew. So there's gifting. Once you're in the membership, you can gift memberships like Skeptical Fan just did right there. The thanks button. YouTube has, of course, super chat. Different ways to drop the love here, show it. But there's other ways as well. Which, by the way, I just want to say, Skeptical Fan is currently now in first place as the gifting leader, trying to disrupt the Jet Li 44 domination there. I will update that in a minute. Skeptical Fan is also in second place on the overall board behind Mark Hosepian. And still nobody in the Cash App for this month. So let me actually empty that. And Cat 52, of course, he's the king.
Yeah, and there's a few different ways you can hop into the Cash App side of things. You have, of course, the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last, but certainly not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat would.
You know it. And, of course, today, guys, is Fan Friday. So we actually have a special. We're going to actually try to do this, I think, in the beginning of the stream, right? I think we're going to do this early. And it is the Star and Over Everything level membership monthly jersey raffle, which we actually said we were going to do last stream when we just didn't have the time. It was a big stream. So this is going to be a big stream, too. We don't want to forget. So rather than do it on game day, we're going to do it today. This is from August. Keep that in mind, guys. So big shout-outs to those in the Star level and the Over Everything level. We'll announce who's in the raffle because this is for the month of August and we're in the middle of September. So some names have changed, but we still remembered who's been representing the Star and Over Everything levels in August, as well as the weekly winners, which I think is only amounted to one, which was Jet Li 44.
That's right.
Bonus raffle entry. But we also always shout out every night, the Star level and Over Everything level. But on Fan Friday, it's also that silver level too. So, baby, why don't you do the honors here?
Of course, thank you very much to Mr. A. Lavelle, the Top Dog Bay Bullies, Dwayne Broussard, Justin Quarles, the Q-Man, John Luna, the newest star member, Jetly44 representing, of course, Skeptical Fan always stays skeptical, and LC.
Yeah, we got everybody in the house. Appreciate you guys on all those levels. Top shelf level membership kind of thing. And by the way, we're like 3 or 4 away from 40,000 subscribers. So whether it's tonight's stream or the next stream, which is game day stream, no matter which one it may be, yeah, your boy, your girl, here at MCF, hitting that 40,000 subscriber mark. 40,000 family members. Could not do this without you guys. Basically entering our after 7 years of being on YouTube. So wow, we didn't know if we had 4,000 people. I mean, that was a dream if we got 4,000. 40,000? God damn. So we're going to get into the news and everything. But you know what? For those that are here right now, the 16, 17 people in the house, we're just starting slow. So why don't we kick off the actual raffle?
Of course.
You want to do the raffle real quick? Well, here we are. MCF represented and Jersey representing there from the wife. So we are here, and we're going to be gone here for a moment because we're going to put up here the possible champion. One of these people are going to win a sewn and stitched Cowboy jersey. I mean, they're all Cowboy fans, so I mean,
yeah, you've seen us representing our very own, all sorts of different players, styles, sizes. So whether it's for you, the family, we got you.
Yeah. So let's get to it and go through the names real quick. You got there Seabass, again, currently in the Navy Blue crew, but was in the Over Everything in August. So big shout out to him. He has his bonus level membership there. You see it in asterisk there. So that is, that's the bonus entry you get from the Over Everything level. Just want to shout that out there. Oh, the star levels get, as the rest here, our star levels, where there was Jet Li, the Lunatic, Lincoln Kane, Skeptical, Marissa. They were all star level members. They get one entry each, but I do want to say one other thing when it clears here, and a big shout out to Mark Hovsepian in here. You'll see Jet Li has a little asterisk next to his name. Even though he's a star level member, he was also a weekly winner, so he gets a bonus entry as well. We'll see who wins this in a minute. First, let's hear from the man, Mark Hovsepian, now back up to 100 points, fully loaded, and still in first place on the overall board. What did the man, Mark Hovsepian, have to say?
It's another W. New Orleans and Cleveland have solid defenses, but have jack on offense. Saints had no running back, quarterback, or tackles, and the Saints got jack. We want to play a solid team to gauge us.
Oh, yeah, we're going to discuss this tonight here in detail, Mark. And yes, I mean, you can say they have no quarterback. Derek Carr, he's workable. He's not great. Far from it. He's going to be facing a tough defense. Of course, our defense. He talks about, again, I don't know if you're talking about you're talking about the Saints had I know the Browns had kind of missing these pieces too a little bit.
So maybe that's what he meant. Like the Browns had no running back, quarterback, and tackles, and the Saints had jack shit.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the thing is that though, I think he maybe also, again, the Saints do have Alvin Kamara, so they obviously have a running back. So, and again, I know he's saying that they didn't have tackles. Well, we're going to talk about the offensive line. I was really curious about this offensive line, and we're going to discuss the details of that in tonight's show. And it's very important because this is one of the keys to victory. As you always know, we always talk about the trenches, our defense versus their offensive line, and vice versa, our offensive line versus their defensive line. That has to be one. If we win both of those, we win the game, baby. That's the way it always goes. It goes for every team. It goes that way. So that's the way it's going to go this game. Well, anyways, let's get this thing over with. You ready, baby? Much love to everybody here who's in the star level, even if some of them are out right now. So we have some new names like John Luna, who'll be in next month's raffle for the month of September. Yeah. And we'll have some new weekly winners. I think Jet Li was the last one, right? So he gets another bonus raffle entry for the next stream. And yes, I will hold off on doing it because we got the man Marco Sippin with another one in there.
A $2 holler this time. Boom. You know what he said?
Hit me.
Carr is solid. Kamara is done and slowing.
Okay, he had 82, 83 yards rushing. He had another 35 on the... I mean, he had over 100 yards from scrimmage. Could still be dangerous. Our defense got to watch the running back. That's it. And we do that, we should be all right. Kamara's not scary. I know Mark always talk about scary. He's not scary. So I hear you there. I feel you there. But you don't want to let him be dangerous. And that's where the Cowboys got to make sure the running game comes up big. We want to hold them way under 82 yards if possible.
I agree.
Now, big shout. We're going to get right back to this. Again, right now we're doing the family raffle here for the Star and Over Everything and weekly winner. So let's do it. Good luck to all. And let's see who's the big winner. Bum, 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 bum. Drum roll, please. And LC is the winner. Big shout out to him. Lincoln Kane once again coming at it. And he's got like 3 of them already there. So when he contacts us, we'll get the jerseys out to him. Big shout out to the man, Lincoln Kane. He knows we're here. He knows we're around. He knows what we do. And he's away in Australia repping that Star for everything. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to everybody in all the membership levels. And hey, we're back. We're back in the house now as we got out underway. Now we can do the shout outs of the people in the chat and all the quick little intro comments that everybody may have before we get this. Guys, tonight it gets right into it. We get into the injuries. We get into a couple player quotes. Injuries,
stuff from our front office.
Yeah, very little. Trust me, Mark. You're gonna like that. We don't hear much from Jerry and Steven. Just relevant shit. And then how we're gonna beat this Saints team. How we're gonna do. I know Mark has already marked it down as a win, but I want to know how we're gonna win. And that's what we're gonna find out tonight.
Yeah, all those guaranteed wins, so to speak. That's usually when we end up screwing ourselves, right?
Yeah, there's no trap games for Dallas anymore, in my opinion.
But we'll go ahead and shout out Scorpio, much love.
Yeah.
Nate Rosario, hello and hi. No, I can't name every Power Ranger show. I definitely used to watch quite a few of them back in the day. Guess which Power Ranger I was?
I think you could definitely name everything about SpongeBob, though.
I guess.
Just saying, you guys.
There's only one SpongeBob show.
I know.
There's all sorts of different Power Rangers.
I didn't watch the Power Rangers.
Yeah. Kind of figured. All good. James Herr, what's up? Hello and hi. The man C Bass in the house. And I'm going to do the shout outs and then roll back to some of the comments you guys are making here. Of course, a big mahalo to Marco Seppian. Yep. Frank Moyer, A-Town Frank, what's up? We have Way Up Dude in the house. Appreciate that. Juan Carlos representing. Yes, extra special shout out to the man. Yeah. Always stay skeptical fan for showing the love and sharing the love there.
Yeah, and also hitting that thumbnail help right there. Yeah.
So again, all the artistic expressions. So Prince Jackson, what's up? Saying 30-21 is his score prediction. So yeah, guys, also score predictions. Tonight's the night to say them and drop them, right? Yep. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, what's up? We had House Nelson in the house. Jetly 44, much love to you.
Yeah.
Freedom First was not first. Nope. It's still always an extra special shout out.
House Nelson in the house.
Glimmerman, what's up? Hello and hi.
I saw House come in. He was first tonight.
Tell your mama and your mailman. We'll appreciate that, CVAS. So with that said, baby, you said it. We're going to get right into the Cowboy news.
Yeah, just about. Almost. First we got to get into it. Just a glimmer of NFL news, and that involves the 49ers, which is, again, one of those teams that we're going to be looking at. Like,
Rosario keeps saying that, his Niners are going to beat us.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Right now, the Niners are a little struggling here in injury ways, right? With Trent Williams got a little banged up. We hate the Eagles here, of course. The team we hate more than any team of the Eagles. And, again, they even have an issue with A.J. Brown, their wide receiver with a hamstring issue right now. Let that play itself out. I don't really talk about the other teams. And, the reason I'm talking about the Niners is because they have one of their best players who missed this last game. Had some controversy going into things. And the NFL actually investigated if Christian McCaffrey was really injured or not, or what was going on. So per the NFL, quote, we have looked into the Niners reporting of the playing status of Christian McCaffrey for the team's Monday night game against the Jets. We have found no evidence of a violation of the league's injury report policy in this matter. Which, again, let me rephrase it. I think it was more a situation where Christian McCaffrey was not listed on the injury report, and it was basically ruled out of a game, like a game-time decision all of a sudden. So, you had the opponent, you had the Jets preparing for Christian McCaffrey, and they got, what was his name, Mason, who ran all over their ass. So, again, you might be saying, well, are the Niners up to something? Why would they take McCaffrey out? And now we know that, today the Niners officially ruled out Christian McCaffrey for Sunday's game against the Vikings. And the injury he has is related to his calf injury and an Achilles tendonitis. So he is banged up once again. That's one of the things about McCaffrey. When he's in there, he's unstoppable. But when he's injury prone at times. And there it is already. Missed the first week, missed the second week. And wait, it's not over because According to Kyle Shanahan, he told reporters that the actual Niners coaching staff and front office are considering putting Christian McCaffrey on the injured reserve list. That would take him out, 4 to 6 weeks at least, 4 weeks, plus acclimation time, which basically is Cowboy game. So he'll be back for the Cowboys.
Right?
Which is, hey, listen, I want the best they got. But Christian McCaffrey, if you look at 4 weeks from now, you got week 5. Do I have to show the schedule? I guess I do have to show the schedule, because if you, let me take a look at the schedule here so you guys see what I mean. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks he's got to be out. You probably got another 2 weeks of acclimation. So the Lions game, our bye week, and then of course he's probably back for the Cowboy game on October 27th, the closest one to Halloween, I guess you could say, the Halloween one there. But anyways, the point is, that's the McCaffrey timeline. I hope we get him. I want them at their best, so I don't want to hear no bullshit from the Niner fans like we see some in the chat talking shit. I don't want no bullshit that we beat them without their best player or one of their players, whatever. They beat us without some of our best players, so it is what it is. Now, let's get Cowboy-centric here and dive right into it, because the Cowboy players, a couple of them this week, spoke, and there's a couple highlights of what they said that we wanted to quickly touch on before we get to the breakdown of this game. And of course, I'll touch on the quick comment from Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones today that are very relevant to our team salary cap and team health, injury status. So, baby, you kick it off. Who first spoke?
Let's just start it off, of course, with the man leading the charge, Dak Prescott, who went into a little bit more detail as far as how he's currently feeling. He had a really emotional interview with his brother, Tad. He's saying, "I owe so much to the city of Dallas. I want to be able to deliver my end of the deal and bring this city, bring the Joneses, bring the Cowboys organization a Super Bowl that's long overdue. I have no doubt that it will eventually happen, and I hope my career is defined by that." So, again, I think a strong message fresh off the heels of his current contract, right? And by the way, since everyone was shit-talking Derek Carr in the chat, Dak was actually asked as well about some of the criticism that him and Carr have both faced, because of some of that. He said, "I'm worried about beating Derek Carr right now, Derek Carr and the Saints. We'll worry about the playoffs when we get there. Understand what's been done in the past, I get that. It's about being present, and that's how I'm able to do that. Understand the guys that I have, the team we have, and the focus we have right now. It's week by week, and that's what it is right now." So,
yeah. So, again, Dak laying it out, and, the way he should, I guess.
Yes. Kind of funny as well, as you guys know, Dak is from Louisiana, so he grew up with a lot of Saints fans, and a lot of his friends are Saints fans. He said that he's been getting texts like, "Oh, I'm going to be there. I'll be there in the end zone," from some of his friends. He said, "I've kind of just sent them an emoji and said, 'Go Cowboys,' and they fired back with, 'Who dat?' And I wrote, 'Who Dak?' back." Good playful stuff back and forth. He was asked, "Oh, what emoji did he send?" He's like, "Oh, the finger."
Yeah, or the ain'ts. We give him the finger this way. The ain'ts. Dak Prescott doing it for us here. So, Dak, just a little shit talk before the game here.
And the final comment I'll leave it off with is kind of a 1 for 2, because he was asked, "Do you think the offense is going to look better this week?" He said, "Oh, yeah, tons. Usually that's when every team makes that jump from week 1 to week 2. And just understand we left a lot of meat out there on the bone."
I think we can agree on that on defense and on offense for Dak and the offense. And, of course, the defense, Zimmer, and some of the interceptions we had out there. So there's a lot of meat on the bone on both sides of the ball. We could have played we could have won that game 45-0 probably. But, all right, whatever.
CD actually agreed with Dak's comment here. This is the only CD thing I really have to touch on, just because he said that there wasn't much of a drop-off, but obviously there's room for improvement. We got better this week, and it should be on display this Sunday. So he's kind of agreeing with Dak. We left a lot of meat on the bone.
We're going to be better out there this week offensively, which we all want to see, just more consistent. First half, great. Second half, we dropped off 46 yards total offense. It's a very good defense still. Drop off there. I do want to say something, though, baby. I want to go back a little bit. Quarterback. And I see James Hurd making a mention about Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
So he, obviously, guys, again, I put out a short, so I guess I skipped it in that sense. The short explains it all. You see the hit that he took yesterday in the Thursday night game. It was the Bills at the Dolphins. The Bills won 31-10. But when it was 31-10 in the third quarter, end of the third, Tua tried to go for it, try to dive forward, I guess you could say, on a 4th and 4. He already had the first down. He could have slid. He went head first into Damar Hamlin, of all people, and into his chest. DeMar Hamlin kind of snapped back, and unfortunately his head twisted. Tua's head got twisted. He was
concussion, right?
His arm was all like stunned out to the side. That's a obvious injury, a concussion injury.
Yeah.
When you see that happening, a brain injury, and now this is a fourth or fifth one since college. Tua is. I think he's retiring. I think he's kind of got to retire. Any thoughts on that? I just thought about that with James Hurd's comment and talking about the quarterback.
It really highlights, the fact that Dak is still here, able to perform at the level that he's at. Like, no, I'm just saying, like, we have to be very lucky because, it's not like Tua can control the fact that he's getting all these concussions and stuff like that.
Well, the big thing about Tua is that he is a smaller quarterback. That was That was the biggest thing about the biggest kind of glitch in his game is like he's too small,
him, so to speak.
Yeah, he's too small to play, and so if he's in a play, it's gonna be he's a risk of injury, and he got injured literally in college. It wasn't a concussion, but it wasn't a leg injury, whatever. So my point is that now, again, very unfortunate for Tua. He just signed a huge contract. If he retires, he will probably have to forfeit the rest of his contract. Now, the thing is that he's not going to retire to the end of the year. If he does retire, it'll probably be at the end of the season, so he gets fully paid this year, as he should. But then it's probably done. All those millions, $55 million deal he got, or whatever it was, 53, whatever, that's all gone. And so that's a sad story there for Tua because he's smaller. He has the brain.
James Sir agrees with you. It's probably that he thinks it's in his best interest to retire. Scorpio, by the way, that comment. I'm trying not to laugh because he said if Tua keeps playing, he can turn his head 360 like Beetlejuice. So, and yes, thank you, James. Yeah, he does have a family. He has a child. Yeah. He has a lot of reasons to retire.
To stay alive and stay brain conscious. It's already a big danger, I think, to where he's gone. But again, that's the difference between someone like, again, not that Dak can't get a concussion, but Dak's a big guy. He usually gives a concussion sometimes, so...
Skeptical fans also throwing out there, couldn't he wear those caps that go over the helmet?
Yeah, he could. And you know what?
What are Guardian caps, right?
Yeah, Guardian caps. You know what? He might actually use... that might be his final option at this point. Because it's either that or retire, I'm putting that funky hat on. I'm sorry. And it's not going to be a marshmallow head. You actually have they
have the little cap that goes
over with the logo.
Like the team logo and all that.
And again, a lot of people, they played it in preseason. You couldn't really tell sometimes. So.
And thank you, Glimmerman. Yeah, he said that Tua had hip surgery coming into.
Yeah, his hip. That's right. So we got injured. It was a hip injury dislocation. That's the stuff that kind of knocks you out. Like Bo Jackson.
The fact that he was able to come back from that and play as well as he did.
Yeah, I mean, he was back on. Got in his game, whatever. But again, he still had concussion issues in college. He had at least one concussion in college and 4 in the NFL. My point is the hip issue. I think that took Bo Jackson out of football back 30 years ago. So, Tua's lucky enough to get some years in here. But, the concussion thing, you just can't fix that.
Yeah, final thing I'll throw out here, because Scorpio brings up a good point, saying, I feel bad for Tua, but if he isn't playing smart football. Yeah. Slide, don't go in head first into the collision, and that's football 101.
1,000%. You hear he already had the first down. You slide. Once you get the first, you slide. And Dak's learned to do that. Dak used to not do that. And he against Washington, he got concussed. Almost had to be taken out of the game for a little bit. He kind of got through it without having to take it because he cuts out for that. He was going to be out for the whole game. So he did that against Washington, diving for a first down. After a 9-yard run, and I'll never forget. It was in Washington. It was the second week of the season. And I was screaming at the screen, like, and you can go back and watch that game, and it's on here. And I'm saying, Dak, what the fuck you doing, jumping, diving? Mm-hmm. You got to protect your head. He's a big guy, but he still can get concussions. He probably did get a concussion there. He just kind of played through it and snuck by it. But my point is like, all these quarterbacks got to play smarter. Dak has learned to adapt. He has learned to usually slide. Tua, you got to be smarter than that. So, he cost himself his own kind of chances, you can say.
1,000% agree, Seabass. You only got one body, and you have to take care of it.
One brain. And so, 1,000% agree. And that's why we got a big old Dak Prescott in there. We're good to go for him to give some shoulder shots to some of these defensive players.
I know, right? But it also, stuff like this just makes you also realize, like, okay, this is why the Joneses also felt like they could and did want to invest in Dak in a more slightly long-term way. I'm just saying, like, he has held up.
Jet Li, a member here for 40 months in the star level. Woo. Much love to him.
Thank you so much, Jet Li.
What did Mr. Jet Li have to say?
Cowboys are ready for the Aints. and they are overestimating us and going to see what happens when they play a real team. We are on the search for 6 and beyond, so let's get this win. On the search for 6. Go Cowboys now and forever.
Now and forever. Hell yeah.
Thank you so much, Jet Li.
I'm dropping them. I'm dropping the ain'ts all over the place there.
Let me back you up with some ain'ts.
Much love, Jet Li. 44. He's our back-to-back sponsor of the week and back-to-back gifting membership king. Much love. Oh, I got to update that board. So, again, no other real comments there.
Yeah, well, that was just a membership message. It wasn't.
No. I'm saying the membership, not king, but membership leader is a skeptical fan. I have to add that. I'm going to do that now because I know you got a couple other guys that spoke, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So, if you don't mind a little... How about this? Well, we'll start with the less funny comment, just because Micah Parsons actually had some love to show to DeMarvion Overshown. He was blown away by that one play where you guys all remember he kind of cut in front of him and got to.
Yeah, the speed burst was crazy by Overshown, and he just kind of flew right by Micah. Micah even said well, that's what we're gonna get to. Yeah. He said it. I don't even know what happened. I don't think people realize how explosive he is. He's coming downhill with intent. Huh. He's one of the most exciting players I've seen, and I think he's going to be an all-pro. Everyone's talking about him right now, and if he continues, if he's every game kind of like this consistent, he definitely is
I know, I think we mentioned in our last stream a little bit of Micah Parsons' jealousy. Like, he's like, not jealousy, but that natural competitiveness that Micah has because Overshown was faster than him. He was kind of like, damn, I can't believe he was faster than me. So I just thought that was kind of funny. But the thing that got to me, though, Micah had a conversation with Tyler Guyton after his first game, of course, just kind of, shooting the shit, asking him. So Micah says, how was it? Tyler Guyton says, it was good. Micah's like, oh, he's crazy good. Guyton's like, oh, he's freaky, he's fast, he's strong. Obviously talking about Myles Garrett here. So Micah said, well, you got the 2 best out of the way. Guyton's like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah, Micah.
And Micah said, me and Myles. So now you can go against anybody. So I just thought that was very funny, but also accurate.
Yeah, real. It's real.
The fact that Tyler Guyton was able to hold his own, I'm crediting at least a small portion of that to the fact that he was able to get a few snaps against Micah Parsons and our defensive line just in general.
More than a few, right? And that really got him ready for Myles Garrett. Even though it's hard to get ready for Myles Garrett, it got him just always aware,
And you know what? Speed. I think that Tyler Guyton also has the type of mentality that's going to carry him very far, because when he was asked, like, oh, hey, how do you feel? Who, by the way, Tyler Guyton's the next person we're talking about here. He was asked, how do you feel about your performance at the game? How do you feel like you played? He said poorly. He was not happy with his performance, so, of course, a bit surprising because we all saw it. We did not think he played poorly. He said, well, it's my first sack I ever gave up. It hurts. It feels like if I would have done the right things, there would have been none of that. I feel like my losses were on me, and that's why I say I was poor. Well, Guyton, that's the type of mentality that's going to carry you very far. He's mad. You had absolutely not a poor game, I would say, for your debut into the NFL.
I'm glad he's not too high on himself, and willing to kind of say, "Hey, I still got a long way to go." Which one good game don't mean anything in the long run, but it definitely is a good sign.
So, and he got into a little more detail about why he felt that way. He said, "The reps I lost, I feel like it was because of me. I was setting in a weird way, or I didn't have my footing right, or I'm not punching correctly. I feel like if I do everything I can, I win every rep." And when I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something wrong.
Imagine him saying this about Myles Garrett, right? So, or Micah. So my point, my only thing I'm taking out of that is that, you know what? It shows you he's still making a lot of mistakes. Because he's a rookie. And what happens when he locks that shit down? Now he's going to become a fucking lockdown left tackle. It's like the Tyron Smith replacement. The Cowboys do something else. I'm telling you, with these first-round offensive linemen, these are geniuses when it comes to Will McClay.
So, the other thing, too, he threw in there, I'm not really good at enjoying my work. I always criticize myself, but that's how you have to be to play in this league.
I agree. Good.
The situation was against a great player like that in my first game on the road, and I couldn't even hear. The odds were against me, but, I don't think it was terrible. I just feel like it could have been a lot better.
With him there, I love the ability to criticize himself so he can improve even more.
Yeah, and Dak actually kind of backed up a little bit of what Guyton was saying, but also gave him much more credit than he's given himself, basically just saying, oh, there were times he got edged, or maybe Miles got hands on me or hit me a little bit, and Tyler was like almost apologizing in a sense, so basically Dak is just like trying to keep him in that like, okay, yes,
positive
but
mode,
let's move on past that play, which he did a good job of. It's just, again, that type of little
these are the little
discussion.
learning steps for Tyler Guyton.
So, and the final thing I'll say here that Tyler Guyton said, he said, if you want to be the best, no matter who it is, it doesn't matter. It could be Joe Schmo or the best in the league. You have to want to win every rep.
There you go.
So that's why I wanted to also highlight that conversation between him and Micah, because I think they have a similar mentality. They just express it, but they just express it in different ways, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and again, imagine one of us, whoever it is this week, and again, we'll talk about it, but it's not going to be Myles Garrett this week.
I know.
You're going to get... Now, don't get me wrong. Cameron Jordan's fan-fucking-tastic. Carl Granderson, very good. These guys are going to be good, but they're no comparison. Nothing compared to Myles Garrett.
Yeah, which, by the way, very funny, because Tyler Guyton, by the way, was not the only rookie out there on the O-line.
Yeah.
We also had Cooper Beebe. Very different style, very
Number
different
56,
personality.
center. Played guard his whole life. Now center, but, really... Zero pressures allowed.
So, at least for him on his side, he actually credits, Dak and the rest of the O-line for actually giving him that confidence he says that he kind of needed. Saying confidence comes from just being around these guys. Dak was talking to me pregame and just told me to go out there, play ball, and do what I do. Zach and Tyler were just encouraging me, and that's where it came from. And I knew I was going to go out there and not let the guys down. So there's always stuff to improve on, and there's definitely some mistakes I made out there that I need to get fixed and will get fixed. But overall, I think I did all right. Still lots to improve. So just wanted to throw that out there in the sense of you get the sense of their different kind of personalities and play styles and the thing, how they will continue to progress. But I just love the support that they're also getting from their teammates. Like, hey, you did do a good job. Yeah. Don't sell yourself short there.
Yeah, listen, I don't mind the positive reinforcement from Dak. I also like the hardness that Guyton plays on himself. And also, BB and from K-State, Kansas State, and Deuce Vaughn. Both these guys were at the K-State game today. If you guys missed it, it's the shorts up there. They're both spending time together. Teammates in K-State, teammates with the Cowboys. Deuce Vaughn actually ran a couple times behind BB. I have a feeling we'll see more BB Deuce Vaughn combo coming, every week in the in the season. We'll see how things go. I'm sure some games will be, some games you'll see more of Deuce, some games you'll see less. But either way, I think I say less. I guess the same that you just saw because it wasn't that much. So either way, I think that I really love this first game that we saw from Guyton at the left tackle and BB at center. For both these guys, it's a big plus as rookies to go along with Zach Martin, Terrence Steele, and Tyler Smith. So we're right there again when it comes to the offensive line. Got to be honest. I don't know if Mark's in here or not, but got to be honest. Who thought our offensive line would have kind of this kind of gleam to it? I think we were scared about maybe not seeing enough this soon. But again, it's just one game. Now, we just got some guys paid, right? Dak extended. CD extended. Jerry Jones spoke today. He said a lot of jibber-jabber shit. Who cares? But the one thing we got to talk about is about spending. And this was the biggest clown show move you could probably talk about here. In fact, before I even read, this is how clown show this is. I'm just going to put the fucking clown show up with him in it. Fuck it. So, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, they both spoke. Jerry Jones said today on 105.3 The Fan on the Cowboys' cash spending. Now, it's not about how much the Cowboys spent like on new players. It's not new players. Cash is how much money, like new money you're putting on the table this year. And we were 32nd, I think, in the league. So after getting CD and Dak, there was a lot of cash spending there. Jerry Jones said, quote, "I'm proud to tell you that today, factually, we spent the most cash of any club in the National Football League this year on players. We're the number one cash spender on players. The reason I'm saying it in that manner is because there was a critique going on a few weeks back that we weren't sending money. We weren't spending money on players, which is amusing and ridiculous." End quote.
I mean, but you weren't. Like, you literally weren't.
That's He just, again, I don't want to offend any Trumpers out there, Donald Trump, but it reminds me of like just a blatant lie, like eating dogs and cats, immigrants. It's like, it's a lie from the first part. Why are you pushing lies? And Jerry Jones is pushing a lie here, guys. Again, we are not the number one cash spending team on players. He's lying to you. I got the facts. Very easy to look this up, guys. Spot Track and all those fucking guys.
Yeah, it's not a secret.
Listen, the Cowboys right now are 13th in cash spending. Now, yeah, we were 32nd or 31st or 30th, something like that. We were this. I think we were 31st.
Yeah, we definitely moved up, but we're not number one.
We had spent like $8 million, and I think the Cardinals were next. This was like a month ago, and they had like spent $32 million in cash. We spent like $8 million at that point. Now, yes, we got Jordan Phillips, Linville Joseph, a couple other guys moved in here, some extensions done with Dak, and CeeDee Lamb, of course. That moves us. So we went from 32nd to 13th. All right, cool. We spent the money finally, got a couple players, some used guys here, and, of course, some of our own guys extended. But we're not number one in cash spending. This is a delusion of Jerry Jones, talking shit at his ass, making up shit to fool the people that are casual fans that don't know football, and Cowboy fans specifically. Is
like,
where
even when it comes to spending monny, Jerry has to be number one.
But the thing is that he thinks he's number one. He's actually 32nd until Dak until the Dak and CeeDee Lamb extensions. We were 32nd.
Yeah,
even with getting Linville Joseph.
Honestly, even just based off those numbers, it sounds like just on the CD thing, we might have been at like 31st. Because like we would have been just based off the last numbers we knew, we would have just barely hopped.
Well, we added numbers. Cardinals. We added numbers in there for Linville Joseph and Jordan I'm just saying
exactly significant.
But you got like $5 million added in there. Okay, so we went from 8. We probably had more like 12 or 13 by then, and then we got so now we're at 20 million, and the Cardinals are at least at 30-something million. All right, so CeeDee Lamb put us over the top in cash spending, and then Dak put us over the top to 13th. Both these guys together put us to 13th. But Jerry Jones didn't say 13th. Jerry Jones, like he said, we're going all in. Jerry Jones said we were number one in cash spending, trying to tell the fans, like, hey, look, guys, we're doing stuff. Don't let them fool you. They're doing stuff wrong. They're doing stuff waiting long to sign guys like CeeDee Lamb and Dak, and it's costing us players in the future. And it's not Dak's fault or CeeDee's fault. It is the Joneses' fault for waiting for these players to hit the top of their market. They should get these guys earlier, so they wouldn't get into the top of their market. By the time they hit the top of their market, it'll be at least 2 or 3 more years like Zach Martin. You'll play on that good deal until they want to restructure it. So, again, guys, the Cowboys are 13th, and that is largely not on Linville Joseph, not on Jordan. I'm sorry, I always forget. Yeah, Jordan, not Jordan Phillips, not Linville Joseph, not those other couple guys we signed, not Nick Vigil. The 13th, from going from 32nd to 13th, is a huge amount of that is Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb's signing bonuses. Specifically the signing bonuses. Mm-hmm. Remember, the cash is not the full contract. The signing bonus of Dak, the signing bonus of CeeDee Lamb, the $80 million on Dak, that is why we went up. It wasn't because of the contract. It was the signing bonuses. So, again, unfortunately, Jerry Jones, once again, spreading the lies. Spreading lies. Now, I'll take the clown show off for just a moment because we got to talk, unfortunately, not about you, Jerry. We're done with Jerry Jones. We got to talk about Steven, unfortunately, but it's about this topic, and that's injuries. We got, of course, Jake Ferguson, number 87, who hurt his knee. We were afraid it was going to be a lot worse, and luckily this week, guys, again, did not practice. But he's week to week. We knew this already. So what's the outcome here, okay? Because when you look at the Cowboys injury list, we talked about this on Tuesday, before the first injury report came out. We talked about Brandon Cooks leaving the game for dehydration. Mm-hmm. We talked about Eric Kendricks also leaving the game for dehydration. Both guys left for dehydration. Both guys were on the injury report, but they both didn't, were basically limited in practice that first day on Wednesday. Okay. And along with DeMarcus Lawrence and Zach Martin, and the reasons were for rest. So it wasn't any injury for those.
Just a vet day for them.
So Brandon Cooks, Eric Kendricks, DeMarcus Lawrence, Zach Martin got vet days. And after that, they pretty much played in full the rest of the week. They were all good to go. No issues for injuries on Kendricks, Cooks, DeMarcus Lawrence, Zach Martin, of course, they just got vet days. They were good. They were full practice the rest of the way out. Now, a couple other guys in the mix here we have to keep an eye on, and I'm going to kind of go with John Stevens, the tight end, who we weren't sure if he was going to play this week, but we know he's getting closer. Well, this entire week he did not practice, and he is ruled out for the game. So right now with Ferguson, Schoonmaker, Stevens is our third guy. Stevens is out for this game. So he was ruled out. You have other guys on here, like C.J. Goodwin. And
Did he have a foot injury or something?
C.J. Goodwin had a foot issue. Limited until today.
Okay.
Full practice, good to go. C.J. Goodwin, he's in.
Good news for our special teams.
Yep. And then you got Marshawn Nealon, edge rusher. He was on the list. He did not practice with a calf issue. Day one of practice of this week, Wednesday. Thursday, he was limited. Today, full practice. No game status. He's good to go. He might not get 44 snaps, but number 94, our second-round pick rookie, looked good last week, had 6 pressures, 10th in the NFL. I think tied for 6th in the NFL, actually. But it's the 10th grouping. So the point is, he is good to go for the game, and he's needed because of the same. I'm going to go back to Sam Williams every time, and no more Dante Fowler and Armstrong. So, again, a rookie in the second round, Marshawn Nealon, has to come through in some ways, and he came through last week. We'll see if he comes through this week. With the injury on the calf, good to go. But, always keep that in the back of your mind. He's a little bit nicked up. He might get a couple less snaps.
Yeah.
You might get more, Chauncey Golston in the mix. So, and, of course, C.J. Goodwin, like I said, good to go pretty much for special teams. So that leaves one guy left. We know that's John Stevens, that tight end is out. What about Jake Ferguson? He started off, he did not practice the entire week because of that knee issue. He's week to week, and he was listed as doubtful for the game. Now, we're out when it comes to our third stringer, and we're doubtful to our starter. You know the last time a starter that played that was doubtful? I don't either. No one. It's been years and years since a doubtful player, for the Cowboys, and rarely, maybe once a year, maybe not even that much, as a player on a doubtful team, doubtful status play. Rarely ever.
I think the last 7 years of MCF streaming, we've never had a player on the team that was doubtful play. At least on the Cowboys.
I think it was 1 or 2 in the NFL that played. The rest did not, and the Cowboys never 0.
Exactly.
In our 8th season here in MCF. So guys, Jake Ferguson ain't playing. That's my point. So we're missing our starter. We got Schoonmaker, our backup. We haven't seen anything much from him. Our second-round pick last year. And then our third stringer, John Stevens, the undrafted last year, out. So 2 out of our 3 starters are out at tight end. And what was Stephen Jones saying about this? About him being doubtful for Sunday. He said, quote, and this is what Stephen Jones said, "It looks like it's going to be a stretch for him to play. We are taking a conservative route with him. We're going to get him healthy. The good news is we like our tight end group." So again, we know there's no Ferguson, and we also know there's no John Stevens. So we got Schoonmaker, number 86. According to Stephen Jones and the Cowboy team, we're going with Schoonmaker, of course, as our starter. Brevin Spanford, who was number 89, he played a lot last week, especially after Ferguson was gone. Yeah. He was our third guy. Now he's our second guy. And the Cowboys are, again, the implication here, Stephen Jones said that Princeton Fant, who's our practice squad player, will have to be elevated this week. So we only get 2 of those. Every week we get 2 practice squad elevations. We had Nick Vigil, only picked 1 last week, and he played a lot. We pick another week of Nick Vigil, and this time adding in there Princeton Fant. We're definitely going to get Princeton Fant at tight end. He's going to be our number 3. And that's what we're going to run with, those 3 tight ends. That's basically what Stephen Jones said. So if you guys wondering what we're running with, our starter is Schoonmaker. We haven't seen anything, a second rounder. The backup is Brevin Spanford, a rookie who's undrafted this year. At least he played last game some. And then our third guy is Princeton Fant, who had maybe a handful of snaps in his career, basically last year as an undrafted rookie. That's it. That is it. Now, I will add into this. Let me be real about it, because I know we're going to see a lot of this. We saw it on Sunday when we only had 2 tight ends, right? We didn't have Princeton Fant.
Yeah.
So who do we use? Number 40, Hunter Lipke. So according to, again, Stephen Jones didn't say, but I'm saying this. You're going to get a lot of Lipke at the third tight end. You're going to get a lot of quick hitches out of the tight end set. There's a receiver as a tight end for Lipke, number 40. So when you add him in, now we're good. Like, I feel better. Princeton Fan is our number 3 with Lipke playing a lot of 3 as well as a tight end. Spanford did a good job with Schoonmaker last week. I think we're okay. We haven't really seen the receiving, any of these tight ends become receivers, except for Lipke, who can catch. We saw him for sure catch. So, Guy, any thoughts on this injury? This is the only injury we have as a tight end position. No John Stevens, he hasn't played yet, and now we lost our starter for at least a week. We'll see if next week. He should be good to go sooner than later, guys. They're taking a conservative approach. But they like their tight ends. So what do you think about our 3 tight ends for this game? Luke Schoonmaker, Brevin Spanford, Princeton Fant, and then Hunter Lipke as our, fourth, a.k.a. third or fourth tight end. What do you think, baby? Any thoughts from you?
For me personally, obviously, not surprised because as soon as we saw Ferguson go down, Hunter Lipke was the guy who helped fill in a lot of those roles.
Yeah, I also
just expect, in general, this is where McCarthy and the offensive plan come in. I got Schottenheimer, too. He's technically part of the offense. I honestly forgot Schottenheimer's even there. Not going to lie.
He's
Sorry.
important, yeah. But you're right.
But, yeah, basically, just adapt your offensive scheme. So, when it comes to the blocking, we've seen it already. Receivers will help. Zeke will help. Lipke is obviously going to have a much bigger role in this game. So, if anything, Hunter Lipke make the most out of your opportunities. Schoonmaker, too. Who was the tight end that... Was it Jarwin?
Blake Jarwin. Yeah, he took over once he had some chances.
So the point is that, sometimes all you need is a chance. So maybe this is the kind of final sauce that gets Schoonmaker to finally look like the second-round tight end we were hoping he would look like.
Now, I see a comment in there by Jordy Fuentes. I just want to address that. And you could read the other comments, too.
Yeah, we should add Cook's running back.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think that's another one where that's a good one to pick. Maybe no Nick Vigil this week. Maybe we just get Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
The problem is, I have a feeling Dalvin Cook maybe still not 100% acclimated yet and ready to go. But we do need that fourth. I believe we need a fourth running back. Because right now with Zeke, all right, he's all right. He looked all right. He's fresh. Rico Dowdle looked all right. You know what I'm saying? Deuce, he had 2 snaps. So, to me, that's the bigger thing. We got 2 guys are running on. If one of them go down, now we got to throw Deuce into the rotation. And that could be a problem. So that's why I think Dalvin Cook, the sooner he's ready and acclimated, get him on that field, whether it's on the 53 or elevate him from the practice squad. But that's a good call. That's a good call by Mr. Fuentes. But I see here a call by Mr. Skeptical Fan with that 5 on it. What did the man say?
He said, how many times can we elevate players from the practice squad?
So you get 2 a week. The same player you can elevate 3 times. Once you elevate them 3 times, they have to stay on your practice squad for the rest of the year into the playoffs, and then you can use them again. That's happened to one of our guys last year. I think it was a linebacker. I think it was Malik Jefferson. We used all 3 of his elevations. Then we kept them. We don't cut them. We still kept them on the practice squad for the as to use them in practice. He's basically, and of course we use them we could use them again in the playoffs. The thing is, here's the thing: once you use a 3rd elevation, a lot of these players, if they did well in those 3 elevations, they're going to get picked up by somebody else and poached off your practice squad. So a lot of times we've had those guys have their 3 elevations, we keep them on the team, and all of a sudden someone takes them. Then they can play again. But they cannot play as a Cowboy into the playoffs. So you get 3 of them. Let's say Nick Vigil, Dalvin Cook, we're talking about Princeton Fan. Let's say that any of these guys get 3 elevations, 3 games they play in from the practice, and they're still in the practice squad. They cannot go a 4th game. They got to stay on the Cowboys. And they cannot play anymore in the season until the playoffs, unless a team picks them off the practice squad. Then they get the 3 elevations again.
So basically, we have 2 choices. We either leave them on the practice squad, don't touch them till the playoffs, or they get signed to the 53.
Right.
That's it. Other than
after 3 elevations.
Yes.
Yeah, you could. That's the other option. After the 3rd one, you can then elevate them to the 53-man roster for good. If
I'm not mistaken, I think we did do that
yes,
with
we did.
One player last. Was it the linebacker?
I think it was 2 years ago. I'm not sure.
The point is that the Cowboys have done that because of
maybe you're right. It was the guy. What's his name from the Falcons? I forgot his name. But we had him for a couple games.
Yeah,
and we elevated him, and then he became a part of the 53.
That was a bigger deal just because of the LVE.
We didn't have linebackers.
Yeah. So
what's his name? You guys will know him out there.
Yeah, if you guys remember his name, let us know. So
I know Skeptical's name. Much love to Skeptical, and appreciate you, brother. By the way, that puts Mark Hovsepian at 94 points, a second-round pick right there. Marshawn Nealon, who has to have a good game. 94 points for Mark Hovsepian.
Bama fan, what's up? Much love. So hopefully, Skeptical fan, we answered not just your first question, but the details surrounding the elevations and what all that entails. So,
hey, we got Calvin Richard in the house, dropping that 5 on
Calvin?
it. Which, by the way, rounds out our top 5 on the board. And we could have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, of course. But remember, a new week this week, though. Every week from here on out, guys, we will have the champions named by the Sunday after the game ends, and we end the stream. We'll have champions named. So big shout out to Calvin Richard getting on that board. What did the man say with that 5 on it?
Hey, I have an idea. Let's trade Trey Lance to the Dolphins for Tyreek Hill.
Oh, I would love that. But yeah. I don't think they'll do that deal unless we send them 15 first-round draft picks. Yeah, then they might do it, maybe.
And not just that, but Tyreek Hill, conflicted feelings there.
Yeah, I mean, not just because of the stop, because of the broken arm of it that him and his wife gave their child.
Was it Keanu Neal?
No, it was not Keanu Neal. No, it was not.
Thank you, Tokyo. But
it was a guy from the Falcons. He came in halfway of the year last year. He started to practice. He came in similar time as Martavius Bryant. Not Grady. He played. Oh, man, was it Neal? He played.
It wasn't because that's what Tokyo.
He played linebacker. No, not Neal. I'm sorry, I don't want to say Neal. Now you got that in my head, but it was somebody will say it. Trust me, I know one of you guys know it, and I forgot his name right now. Shit, I can check it right now. Actually,
go ahead because it's going to drive us crazy all night.
I got to go to my. I hope I kept him up here. Let me see.
Your old roster?
No. I have my MCF on stream here. Was it Darius Leonard? Oh, Rashaan Evans. There he is.
There you go.
Rashaan Evans was the guy that we had in the practice squad. We moved him up from the practice squad to the 53 after I think 2 elevation. I don't know, but we just signed him to the 53 because we had no more linebackers with the whole LV situation. Anyways, we're done with that. I think we're caught up. I feel so much better now. Good. Rashaan Evans. There it is.
Oh, so, and yeah, exactly, Jet Li 44. We do the same thing, and we are the ones who get suspended and punished and who knows what. So it's kind of like when we watch the games, we got that cowboy yard.
Yeah, you always gotta account for that extra cowboy yard.
Right.
Now, big shout out to Jet Li, by the way. He is 5th on the board right now, but Calvin Richard tied with Tammy Soltis in 3rd place.
But I think this is also a great example of how, again, it's not a positive thing, but injuries create opportunities. And that's really the final thing I have to say as far as our tight end situation. Yeah. There are a lot of opportunities here for guys who will be getting those snaps that Ferguson would have gotten. Because as you guys said, it's not just, what are we going to do at tight end? It's the way that the running backs are going to help and the receivers are going to help. The way that the fullback is going to help. Everyone's going to come together to help take some of that pressure off. So, let's see who the guys are that help fill that role and step up. 1 or 2 plays can definitely get you some great tape.
Listen, we're gonna get to see a lot of a bunch of undrafted guys outside of Schoonmaker, who's a 2nd-round pick, and we've seen the least of him. Outside of him, and it's funny because John Stevens is also undrafted. Brevin Spanford is undrafted. Princeton Fant's undrafted. Hunter Lipke's undrafted. Everyone is undrafted of our tight ends outside of our 2nd-round pick and shit.
Scorpio, I'm sorry.
I have to say that, even if it hurts a little bit.
Scorpio said, so we need Jerry to get injured to get great opportunities?
That would give us the greatest opportunity. I'll stop there. Anyways.
We want to wish injury upon anybody.
No, we don't. Jake Ferguson, get better, get rested up. But it's not about only our team. It's about their team. It's going to lead me to the breakdowns here, guys.
Yeah, because honestly, we've gotten pretty lucky so far injury-wise, Knock on wood, smooth week 1, avoided any major situations. But what are the Saints looking like? So
the Saints had a lot of guys that were banged up and really honestly limited the entire week. But at the end of the I'm just going to go to the basically the guys that were their game statuses are up in the air. You have Jalen Ford, linebacker, questionable. Today, Isaiah Foskey, defensive edge rusher, had a back issue and did not practice. He's questionable also. He might miss the game. Then you had Brian Brees also added onto the list for an illness today. He's a defensive tackle, did not practice. He is questionable for this game. And then you had other guys that were full practice the whole week, banged up with little things. Jamal Williams, Nick Salvaderi, A.T. Perry. I was looking at Lucas Patrick, who was a starting guard for them. And he had a toe issue, didn't practice on Wednesday, but then was limited the rest of the week and has no game status. So he's good to go, but not 100%. That's an attack right there at guard, and he's really good. They also have Forster Moreau, their tight end. I think that's their starter, a concussion, but was limited and then full the rest of the week. So he's good to go for this game. Dalian Hooker, who's a tight end, ankle, good to go. He's not going to have any issues. But like I said, the questionable players, Jalen Ford, a linebacker, Isaiah Foskey, edge rusher, Brian Brees, defensive tackle. Those are the three kind of like, all right, whatever. Then we got a couple other guys that are questionable. I think we have to raise some eyebrows. Two guys specifically, and we do have two guys that are out. All right, and that is DeMarco Jackson, linebacker with the calf issue, and Kalen Saunders, defensive tackle with the calf issue. The three guys left, the one of them's playing, his name is Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver number 22. I know you're like, some of you guys are like, who the hell is he? Guys, he had a finger in it, and today had a hip issue. Was limited, but he's good to go for the game. This is a key weapon for the Saints. We're going to talk about him tonight.
I feel like his name rings a bell.
He scored. I think he scored the first touchdown of the season in the NFL, on Sunday, and he did it like on the third play on a bomb from Derek Carr. Yeah. The thing is, he's wearing number 22, so it fucks with my head because I'm thinking running back, but he's a receiver. So we're going to talk a lot about him. Very important matchups there going down. But he is good to go even with the hip issue he suffered today. He has no game designation. So Rashid Shaheed, he's good to go tomorrow. On Sunday. Now, the last two guys I have to mention, and these are big ones. Talise Fuaga. Mm-hmm. If his name sounds familiar, we actually talked about him earlier this week, along with Tyler Guyton. The only guy who had a better pass rush win rate this year as far as all the rookies was Fuaga from the Saints. Didn't realize he was at the Saints, by the way, but I remember he was drafted up in front of pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
So he's one of the best guys out there. Fuaga's a guy the Cowboys like to get, but he had an injury. And so I told you guys at the beginning of the week, watch out for that. Back issue was limited in Wednesday's practice, then was downgraded to did not practice yesterday. Today did not practice, and he's listed as questionable. I say keep an eye on that, just in the sense that if he plays, number one, he's not going to be 100%, even though, like I said, the guard, Lucas Patrick, he's not 100% either with the toe, but he has no game status. He's good to go for this game. To me, though, seeing Fuaga being downgraded to did not practice is bad news for him, even being questionable. So that's it. Even if he plays, he is a weak link, even though he did great week one. Remember, the second best rookie was our guy, Tyler Guyton. But Fuaga went up against the Carolina Panthers, who, by the way, their best passers got hurt that game. So he had a great game, Fuaga, as a rookie. He's going to go with Micah Parsons this game. Oh, please play. So I think Tyler Guyton may be number one after this game of all the rookies this year, if they both play. So Fuaga is a guy to watch with the back issue, did not practice. They're probably just resting him. I hope he plays in a way so you get introduced to Micah Parsons. He hasn't been really dealing with a pass rusher so far. And the other guy, which we knew was going to be an issue, I told you about him, a cornerback, Marshawn Lattimore. A lot of Saints fans are like, he's not that good. And I'll explain why. Because he's really not their number one. He's their number one, but he's not really their favorite coverage guy now. And I'll explain that as we get. But Marshawn Lattimore, he has a hip issue and a hamstring issue. Got to watch out for those. He did not practice all week. And he is questionable. Probably tomorrow we'll know more. Now, we probably won't have to go live for that. But by Sunday, we'll make sure we touch on whatever we need to. And we'll probably know if guys like Fuaga or Lattimore are going to be playing, are going to be out, or are going to be game time decisions. Very important stuff there when it comes to the injuries for the Saints. Like I said, Lattimore questionable. He missed all the practices this week with hip and hamstring issues. And Talise Talisi Fuaga missed the rookie tackle missed Friday's practice with a back injury, questionable. And again, like I said, was downgraded yesterday. Missed the practice today again. That's not a good sign. So again, anybody have any quick thoughts about this before I start going crazy on all the different factors of how we're going to beat these fucking Saints? Any quick thoughts in there?
Jetly41 said responding to Calvin Richards saying, I had read that comment. So, but Scorpio said, speaking of the Saints, we need some voodoo here. Yeah, it's time to put the voodoo out. I'm gonna give you guys the voodoo that we needed to use to beat these motherfuckers. And it's not gonna be. It's not. Again, they blew out the freaking. What is it? The Panthers. Was it 47-10? I think it was. They're celebrating like they won the Super Bowl, those guys. So let them. I'm glad they're overhyping themselves right now. Good. We'll call them I'm still going to call them the Aints because they ain't shit as far as I'm concerned. And let's go through this. First and foremost, the Cowboys. When we started season 2-0, we've made the playoffs 79% of the time. We've made the playoffs. When we go 2-0, 21 out of 27 times we started 2-0. We've made it 21 times to the playoffs. We beat the Saints. The Cowboys have above average chance to make the playoffs by these numbers. Cowboys also, for this game, last week we were 2.5-point underdogs. This week, we're 6.5-point favorites. All right, so So it's on us if we mess up and somehow drop the ball here.
No, it's on us. We're at home, so we haven't lost. Like I said earlier, we haven't lost there since 2020, the first game of 2022, which was against the Buccaneers. And Dak broke his thumb. We lost that game. It's the last home regular season game we lost. I know. We lost to the Packers, but that was a playoff game. They do these numbers by regular season, so. Just letting you know, we continue the streak. It'll be the second highest in history if we win this home game here, which already is our second highest. We're getting closer and closer to the longest streak in history. Right now, this could be entering a third year of this. This is crazy. So let's talk about these matchups. What are we going to watch for? Keys to victory and matchups to me are all mixed in here. Okay, so Cowboys and Saints both coming off pretty dominating victories starting off the season. They're coming to our house. They started at home. We were on the road. Now we're switching. They're coming home to us, to our house. If we start 2-0, we probably will start off the same way we started off against the Browns. That's the thing here. And if we do that, I think we can pull away from the Saints. If we get an early lead, we will control the game. I'm just generalizing here. That's pretty much what it is with our team, our defense specifically. When our offense and the defense can create turnovers and points, offense can get points, special teams, whatever. We can pound up some points. The first, second quarter, we control the game. That's a general kind of just overall thing. But let's start with the offense. And I'm going to start with some matchups to watch, some keys to victory, starting with Dak Prescott against these Aints. We need a more complete game from Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy in the offense. Again, half a game, great. The other half, horrible against the Browns. So, hours after becoming the highest paid player, Dak seemed in control. He had great passes going down, a smooth 21-yard touchdown with a great read to Brandon Cooks. So everything's going good, right? I think first half he was 14 of 21. Not great, but he missed 7 passes. He had 156 yards, no interceptions. The second half, he didn't turn the ball over, no fumbles or interceptions, but he did struggle to maintain rhythm. And again, first half, 14 for 21 against a good defense. Second half, Dak, 5 for 11. All right? And he only had 23 yards passing. 23 yards passing in the second half. The Browns adjusted, and the Cowboys didn't need to pass as much. I think we overpassed in the second half as well. But Dak admitted it was not his strongest outing. Dak wasn't, again, and I just want to reiterate, guys, the Browns have a good, decent defense. They made adjustments, but Dak missed wide open guys in the second half. Brandon Cooks wide open for a first down on third down, missed them. So we need a better game from Dak, and you'll get more points, and we'll have a more dominating kind of performance, I think. Again, Dak wasn't the only one to struggle now. Let's be real. Not the offensive. I talk about Dak struggles. The offensive struggles also starts with McCarthy. Let's be honest. Sometimes, and according to McCarthy, the biggest issues came on third downs, which you guys discussed this on the recap of the Browns game. But let's just re-look at this real quick, because do you know what our numbers were, baby, on third down against the Browns?
No. Can't say I remember off the top of my head.
0 for 5. Third down
Damn.
conversions against the Browns.
That was rough.
So staying out of third downs is the key, I guess. So the Cowboys...
Again, we had a really strong first half. But yeah, that second half left a little bit of meat on the bone, to use Dak's phrase.
Yeah. So when you look at that, right? When you look at McCarthy's offense with Dak at quarterback, the Cowboys were so far this year 26th. In at snap motion, meaning, and not just in motion, but when the guy is still moving, you're snapping the ball. That is the way I wish the Cowboys run their offense a lot more often. You know how many times we did it? 16.9% of the time. 17%. That is 26 out of 32. Not very much. So when you don't create a lot of motion and you're static, that's going to create teams easier to kind of figure you out on offense. I think that's where we got stagnant in the second half. And it's not necessarily Dak, all of it. It is the offensive scheme and McCarthy. So
I know, it just feels like McCarthy was so excited to kind of play through some of that and show some of those looks, that he didn't think to consider more of the possible long-term implications there.
This is just one game, so we're 26th in one game when it comes to at-snap motion, but we have not done that too often with McCarthy, with Kellen Moore. I just wish we'd use that more often. McCarthy said better execution could have helped the team convert at least 3 of those first downs. And I know a couple of them were on Dak. I think one was a drop by Turpin. But so, again, facing a New Orleans defense this week, which is a tough guys, they have a good defense. Do not overlook this New Orleans defense. We're going to have to definitely have better execution by the rest of the offense and by McCarthy's own scheme. I'm just saying. Just so you guys know about the Saints, let me just say this. Pass rush against the Panthers week 1, they had 4 sacks. We had a bunch of sacks, but the key about the Saints, here's the key, baby. All 4 sacks was when the Saints blitzed. When they sent an extra player, they got to the quarterback. The key here is let them send an extra player. That's Dak's best thing. Dak will carve you up. You send a blitz like that. If you don't get to Dak in 2.5 in a second and a half, Dak's going to kill you. And so you saw it happen on that touchdown of Brandon Cooks last week. I foresee if they do blitz and they try to, and they will be blitzing, they're going to get a little pressure that way. It's up to Dak to make sure, and this offense, to make sure we get the ball out quicker when we see the blitz coming. I do want to make one other thing here. They had 4 sacks. This is going to be one of the key players we got to remember. And he had a hell of a game, guys. He's the nickel cornerback, the Jordan Lewis of their team.
Okay.
His name is Alontae Taylor. And this guy blitzes. Yeah, a cornerback that's blitzing. Baby, he had 3 of the 4 sacks. Remember, they got him all on blitzes. He blitzed 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Of his sacks, they were all blitzes. He was blitzing. So he's a dangerous attacking blitzer as a cornerback in the nickel. So you got to remember, guys, when he's in a slot, you think he's covering, CeeDee Lamb in the slot. And really, he's on that line of scrimmage, and then he gets an angle right at the quarterback. So again, you're not even counting him as a defensive lineman in a way, but he is blitzing from the outside. So we gotta keep an eye on Alontae Taylor. He had 3 sacks as a cornerback last week. So the key for the Cowboys is picking up the blitzes. All right, I got 2 rookies in there. BB is one of them. They look good last week, right? No pressure for BB. Cowboys have to do a great job this week against the Saints picking up the blitzes. The Saints like to blitz a lot. They attack mainly with their nickel cornerback. And that is, like I said, guys, Alontae Taylor. He wreaked havoc against the Panthers last week. He sacked Bryce Young 3 times, like I said. And, he recognizes Alontae Taylor, when he's, he knows how to attack the quarterback. The key is for Dak to realize when Alontae Taylor is coming for the blitz. He has to make the correct adjustments on the offensive line, maybe shifting the tight end or Lipke out, just to keep an eye on Taylor when he sees Alontae Taylor sneaking in, creeping in, and getting closer. Alontae Taylor, by the way, guys, I'll have to check on his number, but we'll have that for game day, just to keep an eye on him. for that. Again, Alontae Taylor is also a nickel cornerback, and he's going to come up some more for us because he's going to go up against a lot of CeeDee Lamb in the slot.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that as well. But again, this Alontae Taylor is probably their key defensive player right now. So if you know when he's coming, you have either a quick pass or you have some help bringing in there to block this cornerback. So if you even need a block, you can probably chip him off the line. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be a big guy, but he's fast. He's going to get in there. Now, another way of attacking the Saints is something we have to do better. Establishing the running game.
It wasn't terrible, but
it wasn't good.
Definitely,
it was not good.
Lots of room for improvement.
We had one good running drive. I think we had. I don't think we had a good drive on the ground very often. So against the Browns, the Cowboys as a team rushed for 100 yards, which is not bad against a defense that's ranked 11th against the run. The Browns are good against the run, but obviously with the players we have back there and the lack of depth. There's a lot of questions still about this running back core and establishing the run. So, again, Zeke, leading rusher for the Cowboys, 40 yards and a touchdown. The longest run of the game, 12-yard run by CeeDee Lamb, not a running back. The longest run of the game was by a receiver, not a running back.
Which, again, when you go back to some of the matchups and things like that, you can see why it ended up that CD somehow had the longest run. Remember, you kind of mentioned attacking the outside and things like that. Those are already plays that we naturally have done with CD.
Yeah, with the end of the round from the CeeDee Lamb, kind of the jet sweep, that works against the Browns. I mentioned that. I thought Turpin would be used more. We used CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was our leading, had the longest run of the game for our team. So the Saints defense, they did dominate the Panthers running game in that week 1 route. They limited the running game for the Panthers to only 58 yards. And they only averaged 2.9 yards per carry. Now, again, it is the Carolina Panthers. So they have Chuma, whatever his name is. They got some other Chuma guy. The point is that they don't have that money. They don't have anything at running back. Bryce Young is still off. The offensive line is struggling. Their team is struggling. They got a new coach, Canales. They're all struggling. So the Saints got to basically beat up on the worst team on the league. They're going to have a different kind of situation here. They did hold them, like I said, to 58 yards and 2.9 yards per carry. There's no way in fucking hell. At home, even only with Zeke, Rico Dowdle, and Deuce Vaughn, we should get more than 58 yards rushing as a team if we just got over 100 against the Browns. Mm-hmm. And again, 2.9 yards per carry. We better get closer to 4. The Cowboys' run game does not have to be flawless. We don't have to be perfect. We just got to do enough, guys. We have to establish a consistent ground attack, and that will help complement the passing game. That will obviously, if you do that, it's going to benefit Dak, the offense, McCarthy's scheme, everything we're talking about. The key to this game, you see how it all trickles down to this. So, a more consistent rushing attack will help the offensive struggles a little bit, I think, especially later in the game. So we using the running back by committee approach. We're gonna have to see what is gonna come up. I think Zeke had 35 yards in the first half, but he ended with 40. Rico Dowdle had 14 yards on 4 carries, only 4 carries. I think Deuce had like 2 carries for 2 yards. So to fix the issue, the Cowboys could focus to get a more of a stronger push up front. Rookie center Cooper Beebe said he's focusing on movement from the Saints defensive line is going to be the key in getting on the right track. And I don't know if you have this, but I have this about Beebe. Because again, they're breaking down the Saints footage with all the the way that they're going to adjust their defensive front line is going to tell Beebe what they're doing. He said, quote, "We're going to see it again this week, what we saw on tape. So we're just making sure that we're all on the same page. And it starts with me." End quote. I love the attitude from Beebe at center, taking control, taking over, and knowing that he has to see the read. He has to read the defensive line for the Saints and then communicate that with Dak and the rest of the offensive line. I love hearing the kind
of natural confidence that is growing in our rookies.
Yeah, so run blocking, pass blocking. We talk about Dak and the scheme. What about the passing game? A key in this game, a key to victory is the matchup between Luke Schoonmaker, yeah, I said it, number 86, versus the New Orleans defense. Here's the thing. Ferguson, obviously we know he's going to miss his game. He's doubtful, but he's going to miss it. All right. This means Luke Schoonmaker is going to replace him as a starting tight end. He hasn't done shit since being drafted by the Cowboys. Just a lot of good blocking, but no catching yet, right? So he has some large shoes to fill. He's at the step of his game, both as a blocker, especially as a receiver. And again, the Saints probably know that this. Again, they could test Schoonmaker early and often. The thing is, and I said this before, Saints are one of the worst teams at covering tight ends. So
unfortunate Ferguson is not here to partake in some of that.
Exactly. That's the killer for me because, man, we really had a chance to like take advantage of one of their weaknesses, and then we have a weakness there now, you know? I think, what was it? Last year, the Cowboys tight ends, we scored 7 total touchdowns. 7 total from the tight end position. That is 5th most in the NFL. Top 5 in scoring with tight ends.
Wow.
The Saints defense allowed 8 touchdowns to tight ends. That's the 2nd most in the NFL. They might have gotten better this year, but tight end coverage is a weakness for them. So Schoonmaker, like you were saying, you need opportunity. This is the opportunity Schoonmaker may have against a weaker Saints tight end coverage defense. You know what I'm saying? So they have a good defense.
And not the first or the last time where, an injury presented an opportunity to a backup tight end, and now all of a sudden they find their true potential.
You might, like you said, Blake Jarman's
really
an example.
Some hope here that Schoonmaker can at least get to that next level. That's it. I want to see significant progress here. I want to see, at least a hint that he could be
a solid starter for a while. A 2nd-round pick. He's supposed to be that.
Not just on the blocking side. Honestly, no one's got excuse me, I had a little hiccup there, but no, no one had questions about his blocking.
Well, he needs to get better on blocking too. He's had some issues there recently. But the point is, blocking and receiving, especially receiving, he needs to get better. But like I said, 7 touchdowns by us. That's top 5. They've allowed 8. That's they're 2nd worst in the NFL at tight ends. You know what else? You said blocking. I just talked about the offensive line. Cooper Beebe, Guyton. The Cowboys allowed 40 total sacks last year. That was the 10th fewest in the NFL. The Saints defense, they registered 34 sacks last year. Even with that defensive front they got, they only had 34 sacks. That is the 4th fewest. They were 28th last year at getting sacks. We only allowed 40, which was the 10th fewest. When you look at their defensive line, again, Cameron Jordan, probably their best player. Carl Granderson, he's all right. He's pretty good. He's all right. They got Kalen Sanders, who's out. So Christian Boyd's got to come in there and start in there for him. Nathan Shepard, the other defensive tackle, he's not gonna be the major problem there. So again, one of their starters is out on their line. Their best pass rusher is Cameron Jordan. Now they do have weak side and strong side linebackers that they can use in there. They got Demario Davis at middle linebacker. They got weak side Pete Warner. They got strong side Willie Gay, but nobody here stands out other than Demario Davis at linebacker. So to me, that front 7, we can definitely, they're good. We can definitely attack. Now, we're talking about the run game, pass blocking, the tight end usage, trying to find, the weaknesses. Demario Davis going to cover. Schoonmaker going to try to take him out the game. Then we got to worry about they're going to have to worry about our other major weapons like CeeDee Lamb. We got a receiver. Kind of my last offensive tidbit here. But CeeDee Lamb, this is to me, on offense, outside of the trenches, which is always the key to winning, this is where we got to establish the run. We need a better performance from Dak. We need maybe a better offensive scheme. The blocking can continue being good. Get work the tight end with Schoonmaker. But the key is CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion, versus the cornerback that has 3 sacks, who's playing nickel cornerback, who covers the slot, and that is Alontae Taylor. So that's it. That's the key matchup here. A key to victory, a key matchup to watch is if CeeDee Lamb can take advantage of Alontae Taylor, the Cowboys going to win this game easier than people might think.
I read it earlier, I said it earlier, but he backed up Dak as far as, we left meat on the bone. Like, he feels like, their connection, their flow is still waiting to get to that next level.
Yeah, when you have a good nickel cornerback, it presents problems to your connection with your quarterback, no matter how good you are. But he is CeeDee Lamb, and he usually gets the best out of everybody. Well, Alontae Taylor, who's going to be blitzing sometimes, CD's going to find himself against different guys in coverage. But when he does go up against Alontae Taylor, how's his coverage? How's this matchup going to look? Because this is a key matchup here. So when the Saints blitz, all right, you see a lot of Alontae Taylor going in there and blitzing. He was one of the biggest beneficiaries of the blitzing safety. I'm sorry, not safety, but Saints nickel corner, Alontae Taylor. He ended up, again, like I said, with 3 sacks. But in this matchup, he's going to have to somehow, he may blitz here and there, but he's going to have to really be watching CeeDee Lamb, who does most of his best work out of the slot, as we know. That's where CeeDee Lamb is the best receiver in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And pretty much since he's been in the NFL, he's the best receiver in the slot in the NFL. So Alontae Taylor's got to go against CeeDee Lamb. So this head-to-head matchup, in my humble opinion, heavily favors CeeDee Lamb. Why? Listen, according to the Saints, they felt that Alontae Taylor last week with 3 sacks could have been the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He also had a pass breakup, and he had 6 total tackles. So the guy's physical. Damn. The guy goes at the as a cornerback, attacks the cornerback on blitzes, and had a pass breakup. But that was against the fucking Carolina Panthers, baby. That's the key word. The two words. Carolina Panthers. They ain't going up against CeeDee Lamb or Brandon Cooks or Turpin or Tolbert or whoever the fuck is out there. We're gonna have him in a freaking blender, I think, this game. So Alontae Taylor, get ready, because he may try to blitz. He may try to make an issue with our offensive line and maybe throw us off a little bit with some blitzing. But when he's covering in the slot, in the nickel, as a nickel cornerback against CeeDee Lamb, keep an eye out for that, guys. Keep an eye for that matchup wherever CeeDee Lamb is. And when he's in the slot, that's a matchup to watch and a key to victory for the Cowboys. Now, I don't know if there's any quick thoughts on that. If not, I'm going right to the other side of the ball, and that's defense.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling. Yeah,
on defense, guys, the Saints, they got Derek Carr, as we know, former Raider. Like most of the Saints after their Week 1 win against, and I say win, it should be a destruction of Carolina. Derek Carr had a huge, I guess you could say, is this a huge game? I don't think it's a huge game. I guess for him it's a huge game. He was 19 of 23, which is fantastic. He only missed 4 passes, but he only had 200 yards. He did throw for 3 touchdowns, though, and no interceptions, which, again, when you have those numbers outside of the 200 passing yards, that's usually an easy win for your team, which they did do to the Panthers. Now, you also have the Saints. We talked about their motion at the snap. We do it 17% of the time. They do it 42% of the time. So they have movement. When that ball snapped, there's somebody in motion. 4 out of 10 plays. And so that's the Cowboys have been practicing this. Remember, I told you guys he was with the Niners, the offensive coordinator. Their offensive coordinator has been with the Niners is Kiffin, I think, and he's Kubiak, is it? I don't know. The point is that it was Kubiak, Klein Kubiak. He's running the Shanahan kind of system, running guys in motion to have the defense have to kind of catch up with the guy in motion or shift because of which direction the guy is going while the ball is being snapped. So, Cowboys, and we know this, I think you had made a mention the other day about this, the Cowboys are practicing, working on this specific trait of the Saints, of their motion. Basically, they're 42% of motion on offense. So, that's going to be a thing that we have to resolve on defense. We'll see how Zimmer's defense handles that. Now, what about Alvin Kamara, the running back? We know last week he had 15 carries, 83 yards. Mm-hmm. He averaged 5.5 yards per carry. It's pretty fucking good. All right? And again, I know he's 29 years old, but he looked young for 29. I'm going to be honest. Kind of a little bit the way Zeke looked, but again, Kamara looked a lot younger, a lot better. So, 15 carries, 83 yards, 5.5 yards per carry, but again, ain't a touchdown. But who were they playing against? The Carolina Panthers. So, running wise, hopefully he will be slowed down. Like I said, he did have another handful of yards. He had over 100 yards scrimmage, but he should not get that against our defense. Now, the passing offense. We talked about Derek Carr. Derek Carr had hit 9 players with at least one or more targets. So he spread the ball around. The 200 yards were spread, and again, 19 out of 23. He missed four guys, but out of those 19 receivers, 9 of them, you know what I'm saying, there were 9 different receivers he spread that ball around to. So, good job there, I guess. We got to be on top of that. But, that happens usually when you have time. You can spread the ball around when you have time. You think he's going to have time? The Panthers, he might have time. The Cowboys, he ain't going to have time. It's going to be a whole different game for him. Now, I do got to say one thing. We talked about Derek Carr, talked about Alvin Kamara. I think we got to watch out for their receiver, specifically Rashid Shaheed. We got to heed Shaheed. Week 1, he had 5 targets, 3 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. He's a playmaker for them. He don't get every single chance, but when he gets a chance, he will make the most of it. And he has what Shaheed has is speed. The Saints don't have a lot of receiving options for them. They do have Chris Olave. He's their best pure receiver pass catcher. But the skills of third-year receiver Rashid Shaheed cannot be overlooked. So he's kind of like we know Chris Olave, but you got to keep an eye on number 22, Rashid Shaheed. Cannot be overlooked. He made himself known to the Panthers. Basically, the 5th play of the game. He caught a 59-yard bomb from Derek Carr, and they were up 7-0. They never looked back. He's a fast receiver. He has a big play-making ability to his game. So again, guys, Rashid Shaheed, when it comes to the Cowboys, we didn't allow any big plays last week, and we need to keep it that way against someone like Shaheed. So they do have some playmakers on offense. So it's going to be, Kamara, Shaheed, even Olave. So it's going to be a tough challenge for the most part. If they allow Shaheed to get behind our cornerbacks, and I'm looking at you, number 21, Kalen Carson. If he gets behind you, he's gonna burn us. It's going to be a bad thing for the Cowboys in our secondary. So do not be surprised if the Saints look for more ways. He only had 5 targets, 3 catches, 5 targets. Don't get surprised if they find more ways to get his hands on that ball, whether it's running, reverses, whatever it may be. When it comes to the Saints and that offense they have, got to watch out for Rashid Shaheed. You know who else is their third receiver? Because they got Olave is number 1, Rashid Shaheed number 2, Cedric Wilson Jr. Cedric Wilson is their third receiver right now, guys. And I talked about Forrester Moreau, who's their starter. He's a little banged up. But Taysom Hill is the backup to him. And he's really the backup at quarterback in different areas. He's the backup at running back in different areas. So they got a lot of weapons on that team, like Taysom Hill. And I know, again, Alvin Kamara, dynamic runner, can hurt you as a rusher and a receiver. And he's obviously the focal point of the Saints' rushing attack. But the Saints love to use the utility knife player, Taysom Hill, in a lot of different ways. He can come in there as a change of pace running back. He can also go out there as a receiver. He can take a direct snap from the quarterback and throw the ball. He can play quarterback. He's a very slippery runner, though. He's got strength and speed, and it makes him difficult to bring down on first contact. So the Cowboys have to wrap up and make sure he's gonna challenge the Cowboys' tackling skills. So again, the last time the Cowboys played the Saints, Taysom Hill was he was their quarterback at the time, and he really was the only offensive weapon they had. They used him to run the ball a lot. Micah threw him across the field basically. Now they had a losing. Obviously, we destroyed them in that game, but Taysom Hill managed to run for over 100 yards in that game. So do not be surprised if Taysom Hill gets some rushing attempts. In this game is Derek Carr as a quarterback, but if Taysom Hill is going to get some rushing attempts in this game, can catch the ball, can throw the ball. So again, he can do a lot of things. He won't be asked, obviously, to carry the workload at quarterback or running back in this game. You got Kamara and Carr. But every time he has the ball in his hands, he's a threat to make a big play. So I talked about Shaheed. I talked about, of course, Taysom Hill. I talked about Kamara. This is what they have, guys. They have a lot of explosive kind of little weapons here and there that they got on the team, Olave. So we have to limit explosive plays. It wasn't a major concern in the performance against the Browns. All right? We were able to limit everything that they were trying to showcase, whether it was Amari Cooper and Njoku, Deshaun Watson. We were limiting any explosive plays. We had basically only allowed 1 catch for an explosive play. It was one catch. It was one play, 25-yard catch by tight end David Njoku, who then got hurt. That was the only big play we allowed last week. The Saints, they may be lacking a lot of household names on offense, but they do have a lot of dynamic playmakers who can create explosive plays at any moment. Like I said, wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, big play threat. Legitimate big play threat. Explosiveness last year, he showed it. Last year, he had 7 plays of 25 yards or more, Shaheed. And like I said, guys, Chris Olave, Taysom Hill, even Alvin Kamara, all these guys can be dangerous. Alvin Kamara had 5.5 yards per run. So the Cowboys secondary, when it comes to explosive plays, our secondary is going to have to be very vigilant. Maybe if you're watching Shaheed, you got to watch Chris Olave as well, because he demonstrated the ability to stretch the field last year. He had 8 plays of 25 yards or more. So, yeah, you got Shaheed last year with 25 big plays. I'm sorry, with 7 big plays last year. And Olave with 8 big plays at receiver. And you got Kamara and Derek Carr back there, too. So, you guys understand? There's a lot of danger out there, right? When you look at limiting explosive plays, Jordan, we know about Trayvon Diggs. We know that Kalen Carson could be an issue. We had a good first week 1. Jordan Lewis in the slot, in that nickel cornerback spot. Last week he had an 86.5 coverage grade. That is 4th among all cornerbacks. He played in 50 coverage snaps and he only allowed 14 receiving yards. That's called lockdown. Now again, I know we were against the Browns and they were hurting a little bit there, but Amari Cooper's there. There's other guys there that could give us problems, and Jerry Jeudy, we got through it. Jordan Lewis, Trayvon Diggs locked it down, and Kalen Carson had a pretty good game for a rookie. That's my weak spot, though. Got to watch out for Kalen Carson getting burned by their speedsters, the guys that can stretch the field like Olave, or a speedster like Shaheed. So again, I just told you kind of, the best case scenario for them. Let me give you, we're going to attack them and win this game on defense against their offense.
What do we need to do?
Their offensive line is good. We got Micah. We got others. And they are vulnerable on their offensive line, guys. Like the Browns were a little bit vulnerable at their left and right tackles. They're not at all great here. They got a couple injuries, a guy that might not play. Again, the Cowboys defense got a break last week by facing, 2 backup left tackle and a backup right tackle. But now we're going up against a Saints group that's healthier, still a little bit shaky. Saints have invested a lot of draft capital. They've drafted a lot of their offensive linemen like we have, right? Mm-hmm. With 4 first-round picks, investments. Ryan Ramczyk, fantastic. He's a guard. He's fantastic. 2017, they drafted him. Cesar Ruiz, a center. 2020. Trevor Penning in 2022. And this year, Talisi Fuaga, who I said earlier is banged up. I don't know if he's going to play this game, guys. Now, I will say this. Ramczyk is by far, at guard, their best lineman. But you guys do know what happened to Ramczyk this year?
I can't say I do.
He is out for the year.
Oh, shit.
With
what
an
happened?
injury. Yeah, he's out for the year.
Like I said, I knew about McCaffrey and his...
McCaffrey?
Sorry, wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're not talking about the... Look, we're talking about offensive line here, Ramczyk, and he's their best offensive lineman. He was at guard, now he's not guard. Now Cesar Ruiz has to play guard. He was at center. So they're weakened a little bit. The start of the year, we knew they were going to come up. This is their starting team. But Ramczyk is their best lineman, out for the year, recovering from a knee injury. In week 1, the Saints, looked really great there with the young rookie in Fuaga. He's their left tackle. Now, he's going to play. If he plays, he's a left tackle. Had a great week against the Panthers. He's going to have more trouble this week. And remember... Yeah,
great. You kind of said it there. Great week against the Panthers.
But again, he's also banged up. He has a back issue. He didn't practice this week. He did practice. He was limited on Wednesday, and he was downgraded. He did not practice the last 2 days. Is it only rest, and then he's ready, or is he in trouble? We don't know yet. But that's not. He's banged up.
Not a good sign.
Yeah, no matter what, he's banged up if he plays. So, he's looking good. But then you have on the other side a guy named Trevor Penning, first round pick from 2022, right? He's not that good. He's not as promising as Fuaga, now in his third year now. So to me, Fuaga injured on the left side, tackle-wise. And then you have Penning on the right side, banged up. Trevor Penning. I'm not banged up, but just not that good. Fuaga's banged up. Penning is just not that good right now. So both tackles are in danger, in my opinion, especially if they have to replace Fuaga with the backup. They're an even bigger issue right now. They got to focus on Micah and the crew. Oh, they're in trouble. Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence is notorious for exploiting tackles who are fundamentally deficient. And I'm telling you right now, guys, someone like a Trevor Penning right now is far from able to hang right now. So DeMarcus Lawrence is going to have a time against him. Along with Micah battling the rookie possibly here on the left side of their offensive line. You know, wherever they all line up, Micah's going to give them problems on their offensive line. DeMarcus Lawrence wherever he lines up, he's going to give them problems on the edge. So already they have a shaky offensive line. Our defensive line is ready to eat. And if we get back there, guys, we slow down the run game. We attack Derek Carr. He's not going to have a 19 for 23 and 200 yards and 3 touchdowns against us. I guarantee you that. So when I look at a closer matchup, the matchup that you're going to see a lot in this game is Micah Parsons versus left tackle Talisi Fuaga, the rookie. Back issue, may not play. But so you know, whatever I'm saying now, if he's not playing, even if he is playing, he's going to be in trouble because he's going to be banged up from his back. And if he comes out of the game or don't play, we got the backup, who's even worse, a lot worse. So Micah's coming off fantastic week 1 performance. He had that 1 sack, but he had a pass deflection, led to an interception by Kendricks. Fuaga had a good week, but again, he played 100% of the offensive snaps. He finished the game with 26 pass snaps and 0 pressures, a 94% win rate. But again, what's the 2 words here? Against which team? The Carolina Panthers. Sorry, J-Dub. But anyways, the point is, it's going to be interesting to see how Zimmer and the Cowboys choose to utilize, specifically this guy on your screen, Micah Parsons. Are we going to test the rookie if he's in there playing banged up? More often than not, a left tackle and attack on our right defensive side with him? Are we going to find other favorable, maybe more favorable matchups to try to exploit? Against Cleveland, Micah Parsons lined up at every position on the defensive line. Let me explain. Micah played 69 defensive snaps in week 1. Zimmer had Micah take snaps from 8 out of 11 positions. It's 11 positions.
Which is nuts.
Yeah. Listen to this. Left edge rusher, 3 snaps. The Leo linebacker, or I guess the Leo pass rusher, 5 snaps. The left outside linebacker, that's a 3-4 now. He could have blitzed, but he's an outside 32 times. All right? That's more of a blitzer kind of situation. Basically, the REO linebacker, the opposite of the Leo, 13 snaps on that. That's another pass rush spot. Right outside linebacker, when he was, again, a lot of pass rushing from that spot. 10 snaps there, 13 at the REO, 5 at the Leo, 32 at the left outside linebacker, and he had 3 at the left edge. Oh yeah, he also had a bunch inside as an inside linebacker. He had a total of 6 in off-ball linebacker snaps. He had 1 at the left side, inside linebacker. He had 2 on the right side, inside linebacker. He had 3 as the middle linebacker, helping out there with Kendricks being gone. So Micah Parsons with Zimmer is bringing his chess skills to the football field, baby, as that queen piece. And this is what have I not been saying this for years, really, since his first year, that we should use him more all across, like a queen piece on a chessboard. You can move him anywhere you want and get the best matchups. Make the offense figure it out. Don't give it to them on a silver platter and say, we're going to rush Micah every single play at your left tackle. So mix it up. And we saw this from Zimmer. Whether it was in a 3-4 defense or a 4-3 defense. Micah was out there at the edge, or as a Leo rusher, or as a left outside linebacker, or right outside linebacker, and he even played 6 snaps off ball as an inside right, left, or middle linebacker. Crazy, crazy, crazy. In the Zimmer defense, in a 3-4 and a 4-3, played every 8 positions out of 11. And by the way, speaking of playing the position, right? The man, whoa! I thought it was a $20 Dalvin Cook holler. Hell no. He said, hold up. We got a $40 holler by John Luna, taking Mark Hovsepian down to 49 points on the stream, boss. What did the man, John Luna, have to say with that bomb he just dropped? And let me just check real quick. Just want to make sure. Whew, he's still, man, I can't believe he is in second place by like 8, I think. Let me see. No. Yeah. He's at 8 points back. 8 back on first place. John Luna with the 40. What did he have to say, baby? I'll shut up. What did he say?
What are you doing up so late? Duh, talking about your team.
Cowboys, you know it.
This is a $25 donation covering that YouTube tax.
That's true.
I'm glad I'm catching some of y'all's live streams. So thank you so much, John Luna.
We appreciate you, brother. I know he's not a Cowboy fan, right? I think he's like I think he says, I remember him saying once he didn't like the Cowboys, but he appreciates the information and what we're doing here. Either way, we hope we can make you a Cowboy fan if you're not one already. And we appreciate your love and support, brother. Appreciate you. Star level member, by the way. Big shout outs to Mr. John Luna. And also, by the way, again, we do those raffle jerseys. If I'm not sure what his team is, but if he ever ends up being the weekly winner as the overall leader, you're in the raffle with a bonus entry, and we can pick other teams as well, not just the Cowboys. We can even pick other sports. MCF's got you covered. Don't worry, guys. We got you. But either way, appreciate you, John Luna. We hate to get another team's jersey, but, we do work with our family here. We have family from all different teams that rep with us here. So thank you.
I guess in that sense, we are just like a real family.
Thank you, John Luna. Second right now. Again, 8 back on first place. 7 to tie. 8 to take a lead over Mark Hovsepian, who dropped a little bit tonight as well. It's a big shout out to John Luna. And he took Mark down to 49 points on the stream, boss.
So, and thank you. Yeah, so he said he's not a Cowboy fan, but he appreciates our authentic streams. So
appreciate
thank you again.
That's why I love this. I love family like that. Even if you're not fans, of course, the fans, they understand, the Cowboy fans, but he understands the fandom. And that's one thing we said from the beginning of our streams and our channel. Remember, way back 7 years plus ago, I said, we had Meet the Mets Giants fan, but we know their fandom is the same as our fandom, and we respect that here. We don't want you changing over to be a Cowboy fan just because that's kind of not really a Cowboy fan at that point, right? Yeah. We respect you staying a fan of your team, and we even respect those that see the passion behind this stuff, that are not fans of our team that have the automatic passion for the Cowboys. You guys understand our passion. We understand your passion for your teams as well. And I appreciate your love and support, John Luna. Thank you once again. So anyways, to finish up, because that's kind of the end of I'm wrapping up here the Cowboys kind of keys to victory. The thing, I think I broke it down pretty well, what to watch for. I'm not done, but that's pretty much the player-specific matchups. It really comes down to CeeDee Lamb versus Alontae Taylor, and Micah Parsons versus, Talis Fuaga. We win these matchups, game over, baby. It's going to be like a 17-point victory or more by the Cowboys. If we can do that and be consistent about those things. We have to do them all right. We can do some of them right.
It's going to look like a cleaner, sharper version of this Browns win.
Yeah, hopefully. If we do things right. If we win these battles. Now, you know what's going to be one of the biggest ways we got to not shoot ourselves in the foot? We cannot have penalties, baby. We cannot. I know I'm telling you that you can make a difference about it. Baby, please, we can't have penalties. The thing is this. We had a lot of penalties against the Browns. We shot ourselves in the foot. We lost a 66-yard field goal attempt to tie the record. Was blown because of a delay of game penalty. It's not just the players, it's the coaches. It's everyone. Mm-hmm. When you face a physical team, and the Saints are a physical team, you have to establish a consistent flow. And that will help the Cowboys in more ways than one. How? You have to limit penalties. If you want to get the consistency, you have to limit penalties. Just I know you wrote it down on your paper, on your tablet. The Cowboys were flagged 11 times for 85 yards in that Week 1 game against the Browns. Just way too much, guys. The issue was notable early on our opening drive. We had a holding call. We had to punt.
But remember, the first half of the game, we only had 3 penalties.
Yeah, so, that's true.
The
but that first one killed our first drive.
It did, but the other 2 were 2 came in the second half.
And then we went crazy with penalties in the second half. You're right.
Just real sloppy.
We were, again, old habits seem hard to break for the fucking Cowboys when it comes to penalties. And does that mean McCarthy just can't get it done? I don't know. but this recurring issue of penalties have plagued the Cowboys for the last 3 years, and again here entering the 4th year in a row of penalty plaguing, referee fucking penalties on us. So while the Cowboys against the Browns were able to overcome these self-inflicted wounds against the Browns in this last game, the Cowboys, obviously we do that against some of the better teams. We're playing a good team, but I'm talking about the best teams, the Eagles, the Niners, the Lions, the Chiefs. I'm saying we do that against these other teams, we will lose these games, all right? And again, we have to demonstrate better discipline and avoid committing penalties. I want to reiterate the missed chance to put Brandon Aubrey's name in the record books because of that delay of game penalty. And nothing to do with the players, the coaches, or the bad refereeing, whatever it is. You got to be more on top of it, McCarthy. You got to. They make a mistake, you got to be better. I'm gonna end this penalty thing with Terrence Steele. He said, "quote If we shoot ourselves in the foot, it kind of puts us behind the sticks. Really, not shooting ourselves in the foot, and you see then how deadly we can be. We just got to get out of our own way." That's something that we've all been saying for a while.
That's probably the best way to describe what usually tends to happen to the Cowboys as a team overall.
It happens all the time. Yes,
obviously other teams sometimes do things to us, but man, 9 out of 10 times we get in our own way. So
in the Cowboys, if we don't get our own way on offense, for example, we scored an average of. I talk about that first quarter failure.
Yeah.
In the first quarter last year, we scored 7.2 points in the first quarter. That was the most in the NFL, believe it or not. In the first quarter. That means we actually started off, even though it didn't seem like it. Some games we probably ended up getting 14 points. Other games we probably got 0 in the first quarter. My point is that we ended up with an average of 7.2 points in the first quarter. That's number 1 in the NFL. The Saints, on the other hand, they allowed an average of 5.4 points in the first quarter. And that was the 5th worst in the NFL, the 5th most in the NFL. And by the way, the Saints went 1-6 last year when playing from behind in the first quarter. So you want to had a stat in your brain there to hold it? Out of 7 games where they were down in the first quarter, they lost 6 of them. So the key is get up on these motherfucking ain'ts. If we limit mistakes and penalties like I just discussed, you get up on them, they're going to lose. It's just about putting a foot on their necks, the cleat on their necks, as you see by the wonderful thumbnail by the man Skeptical Fan. Put the fucking cleats on their fucking throats and end them defensively. Get that touchdown on defense. Offense, get that CeeDee Lamb involved. I'm telling you guys, these are important reasons to, I guess you could say, be positive, but also important reasons why we should win this game. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, baby, your favorite part of things, special teams.
Special teams.
Number 1, turpentine. Let me say this. I think Turpin's going to have a big return in this game as well. I think it's going to keep happening, whether it's kickoff
now
or punts.
That dam has been unleashed.
In a way,
you'll see it a little bit more.
I mean, yeah, in a way. Now we're back home as well. Turpin returned that punt first time in a regular season game for the first time in his career, and it was the first game of this year, but it was his 3rd season in the NFL with the Cowboys. His touchdown came on a punt return. But you got a feeling he's gonna be one of the few guys that maybe can cash in on the dynamic kickoff. That the NFL implemented this year, started this year. Last week, many teams were scared, timid. Sometimes they just kick the ball into the end zone, conceding the 30-yard line. However, let me say why I think Turpin's going to have a chance this week. Why? The Saints, they were not one of those teams. The Saints wanted you to return the ball.
Okay.
I wonder if they'll keep that this year. Because, guys, right now, 2nd-year kicker, his name is Blake Groupe, or Groupie. Grupe, I guess is Group. But Blake Groupe, their kicker, has kicked off 10 times. He kicked off 10 times in the Carolina Panther game. 9 of those kicks were returned. So they were not kicking the ball out of bounds or in the back of the end zone. Maybe he can't reach the back of the end zone. But you got to get ready for returns. We don't want the Saints kicking off 9 times. That means they scored 9 times or 8 times. But when the Saints kick off to start the game or the halftime, 3rd quarter, they will probably allow you to return the kickoff. So that's where the Turpin chances to get something increase on kickoffs on this one, guys. You heard it from me first. Now, will he just kick it out of the end zone? Maybe they will against the Cowboys. I don't know. But against the Panthers, 9 out of the 10 kicks were returned. Only twice did the Panthers return it past the 30-yard line, though. And again, that means they have good coverage, and also the Panthers probably suck. They don't have Turpin. But when they did get past the 30, they got to the 32 and 33-yard line. So for the Saints, it was worth kicking off to the player, and they only got over the line, over that 30-yard line twice. So every time before that, they were tackled, behind the 30-yard line. You gained yardage if you're the Saints by kicking off normal and not kicking the ball out of the end zone. So even though Group, the kicker for them, has a good feel for basically, landing it, he has a good job of placing it right at the goal line. So you're forced to return it. I mean, I don't think that Turpin's going to be shy about that. He wants chances. And I want him to get chances. So in my opinion, with this kicker they got, who they only, they're challenging you. They're daring you to return the kickoffs. Do not be surprised if Turpin follows his punt return touchdown with a kickoff return touchdown this week against the Saints. Might be my bold prediction. Back to back, like our 90s Cowboys. Mm-hmm. You had it last week with that, though. Some of you guys in the chat, Seabass and others said it. So, hey, I think this week it happens on the kickoff. How's that? Now,
there you go.
Speaking of kickers, our kicker, Brandon Aubrey. I do want to also bring up, and you guys watch the shorts. Please watch the shorts that we have here on My Cowboys Family, because watch the Brandon Aubrey kickoffs. Out of his kickoffs last week, 2 of those kickoffs forced bobbled catches on the return. And it wasn't just like a regular kick or an aimed kick. It was a kind of a shotgun kick right to the returner's chest. And again, we know Aubrey's got a strong leg. He's kicking at 66 to 71 yards. So if he's hitting him that hard, he's hitting the kickoffs, and he's worked with Fossil on this. He's kind of like knuckleballing. He's kind of hitting knucklers in a way. Kind of like a weird spiral to the kick, and it's a direct slingshot right into the chest of a returner at the goal line. So that is what you're seeing Aubrey kind of did 2 out of his 4 kickoffs. I think he had 4 kickoffs. 2 out of his 4 kickoffs or 5 kickoffs. That is what he did, and what it did was it caused the returner to bobble the ball. He bobbled it, caught it, and then ran with it. And by then we got him at the 25. You know what I'm saying? And a best case scenario is he bobbles it and continues to bobble it, which now causes a fumble. Yeah, now it's a live ball.
We'll make sure to relieve him of that ball then.
So again, the 66-yard, nullified field goal because of delay of game. He hit the 57-yarder like it was like he was breathing. And he had 2 kickoffs that were knuckleballers, basically knucklers, right into the chest of the returner that bobbled. Both times they were bobbled by the returner. So we have a guy. This guy's leg is an official weapon. And again, whether it's anger helping out our defense, anger helping out our defense when we have to punt, and Aubrey helping out our offense when we have to kick a long field goal, or kickoff. Helping out our defense on kickoffs.
I was going to make a joke about anger helping the defense. I'm like, well, I guess anger could help the whole team, depending on how pissed they are. But
I think, I truly think that that the anger that we have with Brian Anger, other than that first kick, he's going to help. He always helps, the ball going as far back as possible. That means he helps our defense. But Brandon Aubrey, with field goals we know about it, but with kickoffs he's going to help the defense too, by having these knucklers right into the chest of the returner, forcing him to kind of bobble it a little bit, take it out of the end zone, and then get tackled 5, 6, 7 yards short of the 30. And that is, that could be the difference between a field goal or not. That could be the difference between a touchdown or not. That could be the difference between winning or losing. So there you go, guys. You got my thoughts, my views, baby. Any thoughts you have on this, and maybe your bold prediction and a score prediction after I broke down all the different ways of the game?
I mean, I pretty much agree with you on all the breakdowns and things like that. We're on the same page there. But bold prediction-wise, I do think that's where maybe we have slightly different thoughts here. So nothing too crazy, but I do believe that we're in another position where a pick six is absolutely, I mean, it almost doesn't feel like a bold prediction. It feels like why shouldn't that happen? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So But for me, it's going to be a bold prediction of we will have a pick six. We're going to have defensive points on the board. Derek Carr will be picked off. The way things are going, it'll very likely be Trayvon Diggs, but you never know. There's so many guys out there that can do it. I'm not going to assign a specific player. Just that I know that this team will get it done.
So pick six for you, huh?
Mm-hmm. So, and I do think that's still a bold prediction. But realistically speaking, I mean, a lot of those matchups are, I don't want to say similar to this Browns game, but they kind of have a few similarities when it comes to their weaknesses. So, again, pretty much all of our players at some point this week kind of said it. They just want to see themselves get better from week 1 to week 2. That's what I'm looking for, too. Ooh, Stuart Abbey, thank you for subbing it up. Appreciate you.
In the house. Are you our 40,000th subscriber?
I
Maybe.
Don't know. Not yet, at least not on my side.
Okay. Right.
So,
I mean, my thoughts on this. So, again,
yes,
your score. Any score prediction here yet? Or,
man, I have to admit the score prediction is tough, but I'm going to say 31-17.
Damn,
Again,
sounds like
similar to the Browns,
this was 33-17
but not
this one, right? So
yes. So there you go. So 31-17 Cowboys.
Now, for me, I mean, score prediction is one thing. This defense is going to hold them, I think, less than 17. I know they scored 47, but this is the Cowboys defense. So, score-wise, I think the Cowboys are going to control the game, and we're at home. So I would not be surprised if the Cowboys kind of get a nice heavy win. I do think the Cowboys, and this is a good defense. So 30s could be tough unless the defense gets a touchdown or something like that. So I'm going to say 27-13 Cowboys. So
there you go.
And again, not that we're going to blow them out, but I just think that maybe they get a late,
No, but you feel like it's going to be a solid win.
Yeah, 27-7 in the fourth quarter. They score a touchdown, go for 2, and they don't get it. Just something like that, like a 27-28 range, right we're at the cusp of 30. Their defense is good enough to slow down our offense if it's not going full cylinder. I will say this though, going by the way the offense plays at home, I would not be surprised if the Cowboys win this game 45-3. You know what I mean? Like, I would not be surprised if that happens, is my point. I would be surprised if the Saints win 45-3, But if it's a closer game, I think 27-13, it's a 14-point game. I still know it's a blowout, but it doesn't feel as much of a blowout as it could have been. It feels, we'll see. I hope I'm not talking out my ass here, because you cannot overlook the Saints. They have a good, solid defense. They have a decent offense with playmakers in there. So it comes down to us at home playing, our best football, getting better, like you said they wanted to get, and that should give us a game we should control in the third and fourth quarter and win.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
So hey, Swearin', you said it. We'll hold you to it. He said if the Cowboys win, I'll send $20.
All right, man. You already owe me 50, so make it 70. Send me the whole thing. So
Scorpio said, "I want to see that 70-yard field goal." McCarthy bitched out.
I know, but what if they return that all the way? We'd be sitting here we would lose this game. You don't know. You don't know. So I could understand not forcing it, but maybe if they manage that clock better, he'd be in the record books with a 66-yard. He would definitely be in the record books with a 66-yard field goal because he made it. So, and that would be tied for the record there. So the Aints, hopefully they ain't got it. I think that the other thing I got to remember, even though they got a good solid defense, the 2 words, Carolina Panthers. Panthers scored what? 10, 17 points. It was basically giving points at the end there. The Saints blew them out, but it's not going to be like that this time. I can guarantee you. If they blow us out, then they surprise the fuck out of me. Mm-hmm. So, close game. At most, I think they get within like 10. 27-17 final or something like that.
It's funny.
I don't
see
even see
a few different score predictions here. Even Philly D said, I have the Cowboys winning 32-17. Jet Li said, our score predictions are close, MCW. Mine's 35-17. So, again, seems like pretty much all of us here as of now are confident we'll hold them to 20 or less points.
Yeah. And we'll score
closer to 20 than not, but still.
And we'll score in the late 20s, early 30s for sure. I say late 20s, but it wouldn't surprise me if we got 35. again, the Saints team, you got to remember too, how is it 27-13 because we scored at the end and pulled away, or is it 27-13 because they scored at the end and made it? You know what I'm saying? Is it like that? Or is it going to be a game where it's just I just don't want it to be a thing where the Saints are somehow hanging around. We let them back in, or we kind of take the cleats off their throat, so to speak, going off the thumbnail. My bigger thing
Frank
is
Moyer's score prediction is actually closer to yours. He said 28-14.
Yeah.
Cowboys. So.
I said 20. Yeah, I said 27-13. It's just I just see it being a little more difficult than maybe we may think. So I'm trying to give the Saints the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But because they play the Panthers, it does definitely change my opinion in the sense of, like, if we play a good game, it's a blowout, in my opinion. But, like I said, it's how we get it. Baby, what if this game in the second quarter, 17-0, Cowboys. The third quarter, it's gonna be different. Third quarter, it's just going to be, things where the defense is going to start to eat more. The Saints are going to get more desperate, more easily deciphered. And then the Cowboys are just can undercut some passes, get some picks. That's where your pick 6 comes in.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stay with mine, baby. Turpin gets a kickoff return touchdown.
Hey,
that's what I'm staying
that.
with.
Again, our bold predictions feel
doable.
But they are bold. It's still a big deal. But
I mean, we have Turpin ran back a punt last week. To say he's going to run back a kickoff this week, it's a pretty bold prediction.
Not out of the question. Yeah.
But it's a bold prediction because back to back. But the reasoning, you heard what I said, right? That kicker. The Saints, they want you to return those kicks. Mm-hmm. So good. Turpin will return them up your ass then. We're gonna get it. So I believe he may break one this game. At home, come on, kick it at that goal line and let Turpin take it to the TD. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, there you go, guys. I got Turpin for a touchdown on a kickoff, not a punt, on a kickoff. You have a pick 6 by our defense. You said Trayvon. We'll see. I like what we're saying here. They're all possible, especially if we're up on this team earlier than not. If it's third quarter, we're up 20-3 or 23-7. That's where the defense will start to eat more, and that's where you get that pick 6. So let's do that. I'm ready for it.
Exactly the same way that we saw just how many mistakes the Browns were making once we got a little bit ahead and just kept applying that pressure, putting the screws to them.
Yep.
Again. Obviously, we couldn't take advantage of every single opportunity presented to us, but we still won the game.
Yep.
And controlled the tempo of the game after that.
We controlled pretty much that entire. I'd say somewhere in that middle of that third quarter, we lost it for a minute. We almost gave them a breather, and then the defense shut it down. Thank goodness. But you can't say that every team's that's going to happen with. So the Cowboys have a lot to still fix. Now, we did the raffle. We talked about the injuries. We talked about the players, what they said, what Jerry and Steven said. We talked about the breakdown, what to watch for in this game, and the keys to victory. Even gave you our bold predictions and our score predictions. We've done everything we can do here in a 2-hour show tonight here on My Cowboys Family. So, guys, thank you for joining us.
Everything except for...
Well, yeah. Shouting out some of the people.
That's right. Like the people representing here on the board. Thank you so much to the man, Jetly44. Not just the gifted membership king, but also the sponsor of the week. Back-to-back as well.
Yes, he's the back-to-back sponsor of the week. That's the weekly winner, guys. He gets the extra, again, the extra raffle. This actual sponsor of the week counts for the month of September. So Jet Li already got a bonus raffle to go along with his star level membership for next month. So we'll see how that, for next month's raffle, for this month's raffle, which is September, which we'll do in October. But the point is, Jet Li already got one raffle entry. Who's getting it this week? I mean, we got the people that dropped the love from above tonight. Skeptical Fan Gifting a membership, who, by the way, is in first place on the gifting board. Marco Sepian, Calvin Richard, and John Luna, who's in second place on the board right now. Like, if he was to take over a sponsor, he'd get a bonus entry into the raffle for the Sewn and Stitch jersey. So, whichever your team is. So, either way, guys, that's the thing there. Now, I do want to shout out the great Jet Li 44 as a sponsor of the week. And, like you said, the gifting champion. Both these things back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. And, by the way, the gifting champion, as you can see up there. He had 13 of them last week to you guys. So, big shout out to Jet Li. And he's also won it 12 out of the last 14 weeks. So, complete domination from him there. Although right now, Skeptical Fan's in the lead on the gifting board. Marco Sepian holding strong with 48 points on the Stream Boss. And don't forget the Cash App King, Mr. Cab52 in the house. Big shout out to the king of the Cash App, Cab52. But you know what we don't have? We don't have a leader right now. That's the only spot we don't have a leader is the Cash App side.
Oh, true.
Cafe 2 is holding it down, but outside of that this week, it's empty. So guys, we have this stream here. Well, we're done with this stream. This stream, we got one more stream to go to crown some champions, a weekly winner. We'll see what happens, but that's on game day. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Central Time. Guys, we'll see you then for the game day live stream reaction to lights, camera, and action on here. You can see our thoughts, see our faces, see our passion, hear our thoughts as well. And, entire game, we'll bring it to you here live on My Cowboys Family, right here on YouTube. So, on that note, baby, I guess take a look at some people in there and some shout-outs, I guess. So we're wrapping this baby up.
So, Philly D, much love. Frank Moyer, thanks for being here. Sortin, appreciate you as well. The man, Jet Li 44. Wow, that's a very bold prediction.
What do you say?
5 sacks and 2 picks.
5 sacks, 2 picks by the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not bad. If we get into a roll, you can see that happen. By the way, Jet Li, big shout out. You know why? Because he is now currently our leader in the Cash App.
Woo!
Yeah, he dropped $1.15 holler. Not much to overcome him, but he is in the lead. $1.15, and I go Cowboys. Big shout out to Jet Li 44. Sorry, baby, go ahead.
No, all good.
I heard you say his name.
That's
so
a good reason to stop me there.
Yeah, I heard you say, so big shout out to him. Even though the king of the Cash App is still, of course, Cavity 2.
Scorpio, much love. Score prediction, by the way, he said, I do think Carr's going to bring his best 34-17.
So, yes, I think the best that Saints will bring is 17. I don't think they get to 20. 17.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a single score prediction with them with over 20. So shout out to our defense for inspiring that confidence. And I guess shout out to the Saints for sucking that bad offensively. So anyway, back to the shout outs. Frank Moyer, Philly D, Jetly 44, Scorpio representing, much love. Cheese Louise 23 in the house. Philly D, what's up? John Luna, much love to you as well. That's as far back as I can go here. Yeah, so that's, as far back as I can go here.
All right. Now, baby, I want you to tell me here as we get ready for the game on Sunday. Unless something crazy happens tomorrow, guys, we will not be live. But, if anything comes up that's major, we'll post it in the shorts section. And you can see any of the news, info, and updates that we'll need. Of course, like I said, Princeton Fant, definitely going to be elevated tomorrow. And I suspect maybe Dalvin Cook or Nick Vigil. Depends on if Dalvin Cook is ready. That'll probably be the other elevation, if we even elevate anybody else. And like I said, keep an eye out for Marshawn Lattimore and for Fuaga, who's you might see them both ruled out tomorrow. They may be game time decisions on Sunday. Either way, have a good weekend, guys, and we'll see you back here for game day, game time against the Saints. Saints at the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Week 2. I'm ready. You ready? We're all ready to get this victory and go 2-0. On that note, baby, let everybody know why we do this here on My Cowboys Family on YouTube for freaking into our 8th season, to our 8th year.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, here in MCF, we always rep that star over everything. And here on My Cowboys Family, yes, 7 years under our belt here on YouTube, entering our 8th year into this thing, 3 months into it, I guess, in our 8th year. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. As you can see, even though we represent an MCF in this channel, it's that star over the MCF on my shirt there and on my hat. Over everything. Over the players, the coaches, the owners. That's the way we do it. Thank you all for dropping in here. You could be anywhere. You're chilling with us here on My Cowboys Family. So thank you for stopping in, hitting that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe because we're I think we're 1 or 2 away from 40,000 subscribers. So we'll see that. Click over. When we go live for game day, we'll be over 40,000, guys. So we'll see you then, 40,000 strong. And appreciate everybody in the house who dropped the love, like I said here, and the knowledge in the chat all night long. Thank you guys for your thoughts and comments. Thank you, Skeptical Fan Markov Sepian, Calvin Richard, Jet Lee 44, and of course John Luna with the drop of the night in second place there. Marco Sepian in first currently on this week's board, trying to get that sponsor of the week. On that note, baby, it is time to clock out and drop out for the night, relock and reload for another show, Game Day, with the cameras on and reactions and passion flowing for week 2 against the Saints. So before we get to that Saints-Cowboys battle, baby, let everybody know what we got to do before we drop out of here for the night.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. The beat's been dropped. It's a wrap here. And by the way, if you're interested, guys, there is the possible short stream tonight on MCF After Dark. So if you are here still and you want to check out what we got going over there, just follow the eyes. And you'll see MCF After Dark. You can search for it. You can click it. If you have a wrench, you can click it. If you can't, gotta search for it. Subscribe to that and make sure you hit the bell for that one too, because you can only watch that one when it's live. Might be a short musical stream tonight. We'll see, guys. Anyways, thank you for joining us here for another one. Glad you're here to listen to all the news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys for another MCF Cowboys chat, baby. And this one, Saints versus Cowboys in that Week 2 preview. Let's go and kick the Aints in their bag heads. On that note, guys, here in MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here. My Cowboys family. Thank you all for jumping in here and being part of the family. Can't do this without you guys. And don't forget to hit the like button for the stream, subscribe to the channel, and keep this thing going 40,000 and beyond. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we're going live. Hit it to all videos and follow us on Twitter, X, at MyCowboysFamily, Discord. The link's in the description. I think we still have to update that link. And everybody, just please stay safe. We'll see you back here in a day and a half for Week 2 of the Cowboys 2024 season. Saints at Cowboys. I'm ready. You ready? We all ready. And never ever forget, go Cowboys!